It's Omnibros Live.
Heyo, what up,
Hello.
buddy? How you doing?
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to Omnibros Live. Oh, you got the music too, yeah? You hit it. Nice.
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the theme music to it.
Yeah.
Very nice. When
Yeah,
did you
good.
ever see it? As a kid?
Oh, Alfred Hitchcock?
Yeah.
Which movie is that referencing to?
Well, that's his TV show. The
I've never
Alfred
seen the
Hitchcock
TV show. Never
Oh,
seen it.
that's the theme song. That's what he would do. The music would be like a profile of him, you know, his belly and his bald headed face, big nose, and he'd walk into the profile sideways and turn around and say, "Good evening," and then that music would be playing as he walked in. So it was for his TV show, which was, you know, Alfred Hitchcock's kind of not horror but scary, tense type thrillers and stuff.
Yeah.
It was actually that's funny that you know the theme music and the good evening, but you never saw it.
I've never seen it, but I've seen that clip 1,000 times where Hitchcock had a very distinct outline and look that immediately you could see I could picture the silhouette in my mind. And for whatever reason, that theme song has always stuck in the back of my head. It goes something like that.
No, you hit it exactly right. It's one of the more famous theme songs, as you just proved that it's stuck in your head. And that profile of his, I don't think anybody else could pull that off.
Oh no,
because he had such a distinctive profile.
Yeah, no, he totally did. Yeah, he totally did. My wife and I, we watched The Birds a few months back. She's never seen it before.
Oh,
I remember the first time I watched it, fucked me up.
Oh, I saw it as a 10-year-old, and it really freaked me out. I mean, I was genuinely terrified the whole way through.
Same.
With that scene, I'm surprised they showed it on television, because I watched it on television first before I started, before I ever saw it like on like a movie. And that scene where that woman's in the room with her eyes pecked out.
Yeah.
God, that messed me up. Larry's here and he's right. Rear Window and Psycho. Yeah, they're great too.
I have never seen Psycho. I have the Psycho box set. Yeah, that they put out this past year, but I've never seen it.
Have you've seen Rear Window?
No, but I know the general concept of it, and they've remade that a bunch of times over the years.
You need to see the original. It's
okay.
Remarkably remarkable. It's Grace Kelly and James Stewart at the peak of their superpowers. And the Simpsons did a great takeoff on it when Bart breaks his leg and is sitting in his room. I forget how he broke his leg, but they do a great takeoff on Rear Window with Bart sitting in his room, looking through the camera and seeing something and hearing something. They parodied it really well. So you should see Rear Window and then see that Simpsons episode, because it's amazing.
Will do. Yeah, my favorite Simpsons stuff has always been the Sideshow Bob stuff. I love Sideshow Bob. It's just hilarious. Kelsey Grammer is so good at Sideshow Bob. When he's stepping on the rakes.
I was just gonna say that. The Cape Fear one, yeah.
It's brilliant. Where Sideshow Bob is Bobby De Niro in the theater, and he's got the cigar in his mouth and he's laughing. Oh my God.
And then Homer ruins it for him. Homer's got a bigger cigar and has a worse laugh. And Sideshow Bob turns around and goes, "Oh, no, that's just too much."
Oh, man. For those of you, man, Yeah, the Simpsons, they had an impeccable run. What is it that we usually say about the first 7 seasons? 8 seasons of The Simpsons are just
Yeah,
hit.
I think 2 through 8 are the ones that are just all gold.
Yeah.
2
Yeah,
2
yeah.
through 2 through 5 are my favorites, where every episode is an A plus. And then
Mhm.
6 through 8, every episode is at least a B plus to an A.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then after 12, that's when I kind of dropped it.
Mhm.
But yeah, you're right. Like 2 through 8 are just, you could throw a dart and every episode is just brilliant.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. There are so many classics, and I mean, The Simpsons now, it's kind of like, oh, it's The Simpsons, but I think it's going to be one of those television shows that once it's done, um, looking
In
back, a lot of people,
2048.
whenever it ends, a lot of people are going to go, you know what, I'm gonna miss this show. Because generations of kids grew up with it.
Yeah.
Um, and
Generations
even
of kids
now,
generations of kids were not allowed to watch it.
right?
I've
And even
I've talked
now,
to I've talked to a couple people like that weren't allowed to watch it and don't understand any of my references.
well, for me, even now, The Simpsons, I think I hear that every season now, and I've heard that they've been on an upswing the last few seasons. That they have some good episodes every season now. My first exposure to The Simpsons was in Puerto Rico when I was a kid. That my grandmother only had about 4 channels, and one of them was Fox.
Mm.
And I caught the episode. It was a Halloween episode, and I forgot which Halloween episode it was. And I was like, holy shit, this show is awesome. And every day they would play it around 6 o'clock, and I would watch The Simpsons that summer, and I fell in love with it.
Yeah, that's perfect. I think what I need to do, I've heard that even through the weakest seasons, the Halloween episodes are still brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Freddie said it picked up a bit after the movie. What season was that about?
Ooh,
Riley,
that
of
was a while
course.
ago.
Yeah, wasn't that like 2015? So what
Even
season would that be? When did it start?
further back.
1990?
I think the movie was like 09, 08.
That okay. So it would be okay. That sort of jibes with what Riley said when he went through that Simpsons marathon. He watched all 30 seasons one time.
Riley gets on a kick for this type of stuff, man, and he does not let it go. He binged all of Adam Sandler's catalog, which is not a
Whoa.
small thing to do.
No.
Or
That's
why would you?
okay, 2007. So yeah, 1990. So I would guess, thank you. Hey, what's up, Kenny? So I guess that's around that jives with what Riley said, that like in the upper teens it starts to get really good again. But then I don't know about seasons 20 through 34. Oh, Freddie said season 19. Okay. Our crazy friend Riley watched all 30 seasons.
Yeah.
I feel like 2 years ago. And then was it last year he binged all of Adam Sandler?
Yes. Yeah. How crazy is that? That for the most part, the cast of The Simpsons has remained steady. It's been almost everybody. I mean, you've had a few members pass. Most notably, Mrs. Krabappel, the actress that did the voice for that. She ended up passing a few years ago. But for the most part, that cast has been there since the very beginning. And I don't think The Simpsons is going anywhere until at least one of the main casts bites it. And then I think they would start going, maybe it's time we should wrap this up.
Yeah. What was Phil? He played the lawyer and the movie star that was so weird. Phil Hartman.
Yes.
I think he was only through maybe the first 4 or 5 seasons before he passed
Yeah.
away, and they didn't replace him. Yeah, Mrs. Krabappel was a big Krabappel. It's a perfectly cromulent word. Um,
That was a
yeah,
big one.
they didn't replace her either.
No. They replaced the character. That was a big one.
What up, Gabe?
Yo, what up, fools?
Hey, Gabe.
Howdy, howdy.
That was a big loss.
Yeah. Seasons 29 through 31 are pretty good. 32 is okay. Not a fan of 33 or 34. 34 seasons?
What show is this?
Simpsons.
Oh. I mean, we talked about this a lot in the chat. Like that first 12 years or so is golden TV.
It's great. Yeah, it's solid stuff, man.
Oh, yeah. It's okay. Here's this. That's for me. We have at least one other one that is this was one of my favorite worst episode ever. That was one of my favorite ones. I think that was season 2. Yeah, there's another one.
We got a lot of Simpsons references in here.
Oh yeah, here's another one.
Yep, that's my favorite one.
It was called, the name of it. It was in season 2, 3 Men in a Comic Book.
Yeah,
I think that was the first. Yeah. That was the first appearance of Comic Book Guy, and the 3 of them.
Who was it? Bart, Milhouse, and Martin.
Martin, yeah.
They split a Radioactive Man comic, and
number one.
Yeah,
number one.
They can't decide who keeps it and stuff like that. And then Comic Book Guy, when they walk out of the comic book store, he walks out laughing because.
And then Milhouse is crying. I just wanted the Carl Yastrzemski side with the big Carl Yastrzemski card with the big sideburns.
Oh man, I love that show. God,
The Simpsons is great. Like the first season, is a little rough to get through.
Yeah,
But when it hits for a long time. And at some point, I don't know, maybe after season 15, maybe 20, I don't remember for sure. I kind of just fell off. It just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
You know what website has never fallen off?
Would it be this one?
That is correct.
InStockTrades.com, our fabulous sponsor, where you can get your collected editions from 30% off, sometimes up to 60% off. Red tag sale. I missed Thunderbolts Uncaged that was on sale for 60%. I'm pissed.
Oh, that's not 60% anymore? Darn.
Well, the one cover was, yeah. I can still, the other one is 38%. I guess they just had too many of that cover. Don't forget your 2% loyalty discount. The last Monday of every month, which will be next Monday, we give away a free gift card worth $50 at InStockTrades.com to a lucky winner like you out there. $50 or more in an order gets you free shipping. $50. You can do that with a couple of books, man. Free shipping. That's a big deal.
That's one Omnibus will get you 50% off, or get you that $50 most of the time.
Oh, 100% now.
Yeah.
Fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com, our fabulous sponsor. Right on, man. So, not a fan of Simpsons. Futurama is also a good one. I need to watch more Futurama. Yes, he certainly was. That was awful.
Oh, I remember that because I was a big fan of news radio at the time.
Right.
I was thinking about that the other day. Actually, it's funny that I got brought up. I remember hearing that, and that was the first time I heard about something like that actually happening. I guess he was having an affair or whatever the case might be. Either way, we're just hearing that somebody was murdered by their wife over domestic situation. I was like, that sounds like it came out of a movie.
That was shocking. Yeah. There was a gun in the house and she used it.
Who's this?
Phil Hartman.
Oh.
Yeah, his wife caught him cheating or something like that, and that was that.
Hey, it's not as bad as Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie paid for his wife's martial arts classes, and she caught him cheating, and she whooped his ass with those techniques.
When was this?
I believe this was in the 80s.
In the 80s, she whipped up on him?
Yeah, she paid for her martial arts classes, and then she found out he was cheating, and then she whooped his ass.
I never heard that. Did they end up getting divorced? Or did he just go to the hospital and come back?
I'm not entirely sure. Richie's wife arrested in assault, 1988. Yep.
I wonder if it's one of those martial arts classes, like those ones they used to have back in the 80s that were like female martial art classes where it'd just be a guy in a big rubber suit and all they did was just kick him in the junk all the time. Like, they go my purse.
Yeah, she whooped his ass in 1988.
Like she took pretty serious lessons.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. He had that coming.
I feel like that might be the actual definition of irony. I know irony is used improperly a lot of times, but paying for your wife's martial arts classes and then she kicks your ass because you're cheating, that sounds ironic to me. I feel like that is ironic. I don't know. Maybe there's a grammarian out there that can correct me, but so he had a daughter that was like rich and spoiled and stuff that did something with Paris Hilton. Nicole Richie.
Nicole Richie. Right. Nicole Richie.
I remember that reality show they did together.
Yeah, like on a farm or something.
But they just did all kinds of like normal people stuff in that show.
Well,
I have a lot of useless. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
My brain is like 90% useless 80s pop culture trivia that is obscure. I just found out the other day Nancy Reagan had a very big reputation in Hollywood.
Take it easy. Take it easy. We have a sponsor.
I will not go into details about that reputation. And
she was popular.
But she was very popular, apparently, and you can Google the reasons why, folks.
And why Ronald Reagan stuck around for so long.
Yes, he did.
But what about what about Robert Blake? He got charged for murdering his wife.
He got off.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Like it seemed like it was a pretty cut and dry case. And nope.
Yeah, he went back into the restaurant to get his pistol and came out and fired up on her. Yeah. How is that not murder?
Ferris Bueller killed somebody, and we just kind of sweep that under the rug.
Yeah, I think that was in Ireland or something when he
something like that.
Drunk driving killed somebody in the car.
Yeah, something.
Are we talking about Bruce Jenner now or Caitlyn? Whatever.
No.
That's another one that was like killed somebody in a car accident and they got swept under.
Really?
I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Bruce Jenner?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I think he might have been Caitlyn, whatever at the time, but either way.
Huh.
Yeah, I think Matthew Broderick, because it was over in Ireland, we never really heard about it. I bet he just flipped him a check for $3 million and said sorry and bolted.
No, he was trying to get his father's car back into the garage, or his buddy's car back in the garage.
Well, what about you've heard like the conspiracy of Michael Jordan killing his dad, right?
Yeah. The gambling debt. Yeah, I've heard that for the majority of my life. I mean, there might be some weight to it.
Listen, I've been on Zoloft and cocaine before, and I've never murdered anybody. So,
did you commit manslaughter? Because that's different.
No, I because of Zoloft and cocaine, I don't keep any guns in the house. So,
the thing is that Jordan was a very well known gambler. He loved to gamble.
Oh, he gambled everything. You guys saw that documentary about him, right?
Yeah,
he'd be like, I bet you I could get this quarter closer to the wall than you can. Yeah, like, he'd gamble everything.
He was super competitive, which is why he was so great. But I mean, he was free. If he was losing in a game of chess or checkers, he just flipped the board and walk away. He was so competitive.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what made him great, right? That's what makes some of the greats great.
Do you guys know about the LIV Golf Tour that Phil Mickelson, the Saudi Arabians? Okay, so there's the PGA Golf Tour, which is sort of like a union for the golfers. They formed it back in the 60s. Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer helped so that it's kind of a casual union, so that they would get better conditions, get better money, and it helped grow the sport. So there's the PGA, and 2 years ago, the Saudi Arabians who are starting to invest in everything, like buying all these professional sports teams in Europe and stuff, because they've got so much money. They started a competing tour called the LIV, and they guaranteed money. You didn't if they pulled. I'm going somewhere with this. I'm not just talking about golf. The LIV had sort of tournaments where everybody was guaranteed money. Even if you finished in last place, you'd still get money, and you'd sign up for a huge bonus. So it pulled some of the best golfers from the PGA because it was guaranteed money. So Phil Mickelson, do you know that name?
I've never been a golfer, but the name does sound familiar. It does sound familiar.
He is one of the most well-known golfers in the world.
Okay.
And he was the biggest name they pulled. Saudi Arabians offered Tiger Woods almost $1 billion to go over and play for them.
Oh, wow.
But here's the reason Phil Mickelson signed. Because he had gambled away $1 billion.
Oh my God, I'm crying.
Oh. I'm not missing my M's. I read it in a very reputable place. He's a crazy gambler. He had lost $1 billion. He had to sign with the LIV. And of course, Saudi Arabia, is a completely crazy state. Women aren't allowed to drive hardly. Yeah. They got to cover their faces. Right. Homosexuals are killed. They killed a journalist. They sponsored 9/11. Yeah. And so these guys go over there, and people are protesting because they consider it blood money from 9/11. But Phil Mickelson gambled away $1 billion.
How do you do that? I can't.
Yeah, who kept like fronting him for that? Well, what casino just kept writing him markers?
Obviously he had a lot of money from endorsements, and he won a lot of money on the PGA Tour. He was a very popular. He's a very popular golfer, and I think he had a ton of money from endorsements. But yeah, I don't know. Gabe brings up a good point. I don't know that he was in debt to a casino, or if it was just, or multiple casinos, or if it was just like $1 billion out of his pocket. But I mean, if you can wrap your head around that, when I was in Las Vegas visiting Gabe, I lost $100 betting on a college football game that I thought was a lock, and I said, "Fuck this! I'm never gambling again." Ohio State was playing Maryland, and Maryland had won one game and was one of the worst teams in the Big Ten. And Ohio State was a powerhouse. They were favored by 11.5 points. I said, "This is a lock." Gabe's at the comic shop. I'm just going to sit here in this cushy chair with a cigar and get my money. Wrong. It went into overtime, and Ohio State won on a field goal. And I called Patty and Kelly, and I said, "This is why Daddy doesn't gamble. Daddy sucks."
Well, that's why you call it gambling, right?
Yeah, I am a terrible, terrible gambler. God.
Well, what was it? It was like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Was it Green Bay that they could have won the game with a field goal, but they didn't? The kicker missed it.
That was Buffalo.
That was Buffalo.
Buffalo. Okay. It wasn't perfect conditions. It was really cold and windy.
I think it was like 17-21, something like that. The score was like 17-20. I don't know, something like that.
It was a little closer than that. It was Buffalo, Kansas City. but it was, it's Buffalo in winter and it's an open stadium. So it's 10 degrees there. And it was windy. So he had like, I don't know, something over 40 yards. That's not a given in those conditions. And he missed it wide right.
27-4. Or I'm sorry, 27-24.
That's
they were trying to get into overtime. Drunk driving, manslaughter isn't the same as murder, but 1987 Ireland. We're talking about Matthew Broderick. Heyo, Omnibros.
Heyo, AS.
Andy Dick got Hartman's wife hooked on drugs. I haven't heard the name Andy Dick in a long time. Was he on news radio?
He was.
Yeah. Okay. So that's that.
That's a good show. I haven't watched that for a long time. I remember really loving that show.
Yeah.
Have you, since we're on the subject of Ferris Bueller, I think
we will get to cookies, but we're in celebrity things right now.
Celebrity getting away with murder and other crazy crimes.
Before we kind of get into it, because I just rewatched Ferris Bueller weeks ago. Have you heard? I think we talked about this theory. The theory that basically there's a theory that hold on. Where's domestic?
Oh, it was a dream?
No.
I've heard that. I heard that theory before.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. The theory holds that the entire day is a fantasy taking place in Cameron's head while he lies sick in bed. His sickness actually supports the theory. Once Ferris comes over, it vanishes and Cameron plugs energetically, if reluctantly, into the events of the day. According to the theory, it's because there are no events of the day. He's still sick at home and the whole thing is a daydream.
Does the show end with... I haven't seen it since it was out in theaters. Does he end up back in bed sick?
No.
I just remember the car backing out of the window.
Oh, when he kicked it?
His dad's prize car going out the back window.
That's such a great moment. Yeah. Oh my God.
But that it was a fever dream, or now I kind of want to rewatch it just so I can see about that. But to support that, I don't remember how it ended.
You know what? Was it the pool? No, it didn't end with them in the pool.
Did it end with no, that wasn't, the parade was like in the middle of the movie, right?
The parade's in the middle of the movie before they get the car back in the garage. I just saw this like a month ago and I can't remember.
Oh, I haven't seen it in probably like 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
He gets back in bed. The principal ends up showing up to the house. And I think the principal ends up getting on a school bus at the end of the movie.
I just remember the password for the attendance at school when he hacks into it or whatever was pencil. I don't know why. That's one of those random details.
That was random, yeah.
That was very random.
And not just a bit of money for LIV. We're talking millions for just rocking up. Yeah, just showing up, you got it. I think with MJ, the only thing people know about him is he likes to gamble. So when his dad dies, people link it. But if you look into it, that theory seems dumb. Oh, well, okay. I don't know. So, NFL dude. The Saudi Arabian Crown Prince owns a majority of the game company SNK. They're famous for Metal Slug and other arcade games.
I love SNK games.
Yeah, it's really...
What are those?
It's a lot of fighting games. Metal Slug is like a side-scroller kind of like shooter game.
Yeah.
They did like... they used to have those... Dude, this is like the coolest thing when I was a kid. I would go to Shakey's and they would have the arcade cabinets for SNK games. Where if you had like a Neo Geo, you could put in like your memory card into the arcade game, play like Samurai Showdown or Tournament of Fighters or whatever, and then go home and then pick up from where you left off at the arcade. And I think it was kind of back and forth, back and forth.
That is so cool. Whoa, wait, we've got an interloper. Who's that?
And did you curl your hair? It looks Jewish.
What?
It looks like you curled your hair.
This is natural. This is all my hair.
He's got a knit cap on, right?
I was just really curious, and so I had to get your opinion on this, but I've never watched any of the Highlander movies. Are they worthwhile?
The first one is. The other one.
First one is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And is Sean Connery playing? Like, I looked at the casting list, and he has a very like Hispanic name. What? What's going on?
The thing is with
the
Highlander,
they didn't cast people by their race back then.
No, they didn't.
But he's also supposed to be like Scottish at the same time.
I mean, what was it? Scott Glenn and Kung Fu. He was supposed to be Asian.
Oh yeah,
on the TV show Kung Fu.
That's like back in the 40s when they had regular old people playing Asians in the Charlie Chan movies.
Well, David Carradine, come on, he was not an Asian dude.
Was it David Carradine or Scott Glenn that was in Kung Fu?
It was David Carradine.
But I think David Carradine is half Asian. But Sean Connery, so his character is Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez, but he's also Scottish. That's where I'm getting I don't care. I'm like, that's fine, you know.
They thought they were immigrating to America, but they ended up in Scotland, and so he was raised in Scotland.
Here's the thing. Once you realize that he looks like he's wearing McGruff the Crime Dog's jacket, you can never unsee it.
Let me see.
Oh, I haven't heard of McGruff in years. Dude, talk about unlocking a core memory.
Riley, check what I got.
You can take a bite out of. I got mine too. Well, I already showed y'all. Mine's in flight mode.
What's flight mode?
Flight mode. I did a post where he's like flying.
What's this dude?
That's like that's Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Yeah, from Marvel.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this with all new Wolverine Omnibus.
That's Honey Badger.
That looks like Cocaine Bear. It looks totally strung out, dude.
Oh yeah, I could paint it all white and everything with a log.
It's what's it called? Jonathan. The
Jonathan, right? Yeah, that's Honey Badger's Wolverine.
Okay, so Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez, the picture that I'm seeing right now is him wearing like a peacock's tail as a cape. What? I don't know what McGruff you grew up with, but mine didn't wear a peacock tail.
You might be on the wrong website.
No, the Google, I looked Sean Connery Highlander.
Well, okay, so I'm looking it up too. I'm on Wikipedia for that for Juan Sanchez. He's generally depicted as an Egyptian swordsman.
Yeah, that also confused. I was like, wait, his name is Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez. You have to say the whole name, but he's also an Egyptian swordsman. But he's also he's Scottish. He's a Highlander, and there can be only one. So
right.
Maybe it's one of those things where he just changes his name every century or something.
Here's the thing, man. Logically, you're putting way more thought into this than the people that made this movie.
Born under the name Takne, he's generally depicted as an Egyptian swordsman who's immortal. Okay, so he's just had names, I guess.
Yeah.
Multiple names throughout the centuries.
I'm gonna just equate this to like Twilight, where they just keep moving to schools and different schools and changing their names.
There you go.
I think it's like Apocalypse. He was like, I'm En Sabanur, and then he's like, I'm Apocalypse, bitches.
We were using your name a lot as we were just talking about the Simpsons and what seasons were good, and that you binged.
Oh man, that's why my ears were burning.
We said your name 3 times and you popped up like Candyman.
It did happen. Yeah. What were the seasons in the teens that you said were decent?
Instead of Beetlejuice, it's like Omnijuice. Who said something about the Simpsons? I don't remember exactly which ones in the teens. I think it was like 14 or 15 through like 18 were the seasons where, like, if I'm remembering what I talked about before, it was that there's a noticeable increase in budget because those seasons, like, a little bit of an increase in, like, there's a better animation and stuff like that, but also they get a lot of like guest stars and licensed music and stuff that they use. And that was something that really stood out to me, was that there's a lot, like for a while, there's a lot of episodes that have like bands. There's an episode where Bart does the White Stripes, Hardest Button to Button, like the drum going through the, like it was in the music video.
Are they funny?
Those episodes during those seasons, I enjoyed them, but I don't think they're as funny as going back to the first decade.
Yeah, okay.
Stuff and like all the Conan O'Brien era.
Oh yeah,
stuff like that.
Yeah,
yeah. So, but then it's like after that you get to the point where it's like how not even just why, but how is this show still on the air? Like I feel like Matt Groening had to have had some sort of deal with, he sold his marriage to Mephisto or something. Because it doesn't make sense for him to still have not even that, but like just still have the Simpsons, but also he went off and he did Futurama, and that was a success on its own. Yeah. And then he did the show on Netflix, Disenchantment, which is I enjoyed that one quite a bit. But then he's still got the Simpsons kicking around in the background, where the only episodes that are, in my opinion, if people feel differently, that's fine. But in my opinion, the only episodes that are worthwhile are the ones that are not even meant to be canon, whatever canon you can consider, but like Treehouse of Horror, but also they do other of those similar type of non-canon episodes. I mentioned recently, we were having a conversation about it, but the one that it was like people dressed up with Guy Fawkes masks, like they were supposed to be anonymous. 10 years after Anonymous really mattered. Had the segment with Martin being an adult, like undercover and stuff, and Lou commented that was a great idea.
I love that idea that Martin has been undercover this whole time. I think
it was funny because that season, and again, I mentioned this the last time we were talking about it, I think there was like 3 episodes in that season, at least 2 of them were back to back, that were some of those like non-canon type episodes, and they were great. And then once they go back to the stuff that's supposed to be part of actual Simpsons canon,
I love when they mess with stuff like that, when they kind of pull the rug on you. South Park, and this will probably be one of the few times we mention South Park on the show. South Park recently did it with a character named Tolkien, where Tolkien is black and his name was Token on the show. So they literally pulled the rug under the audience by saying, "What are you talking about?" The characters ask him, "Oh, well, why'd you name your son Token?" Because that's like a slang for black. He goes, "What are you talking about? Your son's name is Token." He goes, "No, Tolkien. My father is a huge fan of Lord of the Rings." They went back. They did everything possible, going as far back as changing the subtitles on older episodes where they mention his name to Tolkien, Tolkien. They go that far back, and they even go on the website, and you cannot find how it was originally spelled anymore.
Oh, they changed it.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the?
Also a big South Park fan, so
love South Park. Speaking of Tolkien, did you guys you seen the episode where they were playing Lord of the Rings?
Yeah. They dude, it is amazing how committed they are to the bit, where they're like, "No, you guys have been getting it wrong all this time."
Everybody just assumed.
In the episode, it's like Stan is the only one that doesn't know. Like everyone else is like, "Yeah, dude, it's Tolkien. What's wrong with you?" And like, so Stan's the one that's like, "Shit, am I racist?" the whole time. and then they're gaslighting the audience as well by doing everything that you just said, by like having them go back and change the subtitles.
Oh, actually,
my fault.
What did I get to actually you about, Lou, the other day? Oh yeah, you posted the Iron Man picture because we're talking about Greg Land, and I was like, actually, that one was Sal LaRocca.
I keep thinking that stupid Iron Man picture where he's got like a heart attack going on is Greg Land, but it's Salvador LaRocca.
Well, they're both pretty well known for just tracing a lot of stuff.
Yeah. It is an easy mistake to make, but I was like, I don't want you to make the mistake outside of family, and have someone be a shit to you. So I'm like, actually, that was Sal LaRocca.
This conversation came up in the group chat simply because they made an announcement that Al Ewing is going to be writing Thor. And we're like, oh, hell yeah. Al Ewing is writing Thor. That's going to be awesome.
Well, he's already on. He is on Thor already, but he's got an event coming out.
Okay. Oh, I wonder who the artist is gonna be. Oh, it's Greg Land.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, that doesn't bother me because I love Al Ewing's writing. So I know you guys don't like Greg Land's art, but I can easily get past Greg Land's art for Al Ewing's writing. I know you guys disagree, but I will be happy to I will be happy to read that.
I have like, I think, desensitized myself to Greg Land. Like I hate his artwork, but I have forced myself to read so much stuff because he's so often attached to the X-Men that it's like at some point I was like, I just don't have a choice. Like he was on the Uncanny X-Men series with Cullen Bunn, and I was like, man, like it was Magneto's X-Men and it was awesome, and then it had Greg Land, but it's like if you stuck around, you got rewarded with Ken Lashley or whatever, however you pronounce his name, his artwork. So it was give and take.
Wait a second. I don't even know. Oh, OnlyFans. Did you see that Snoop Dogg turned down $100 million from OnlyFans?
Yeah,
because his wife would not want him to pull that thing out.
I did.
Oh
what?
He specifically said, I didn't, or I have a black wife, is what he said. He also did not stop smoking. That whole thing was supposed to be marketing for a smokeless something, like a smokeless
barbecue sauce or something.
Yes, it was something like barbecue related, and it was smokeless, whatever. But the marketing didn't work because I don't know. Most people like don't even know that it was part of a marketing thing. They're just like, oh, he stopped smoking. He never stopped. The commercial came out, and he was like, I'm going smokeless, or however he said it. And then at the very end of it, he lights up and he starts laughing. Like, but no one even saw the commercial to know that was all a thing. It was a bit.
I learned so much on this show. I didn't know any of this.
That's what we're here for, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I spend all day like researching random shit while I should be doing other shit, and then that's where I land myself, is with all this information.
And
because that was like a two-part marketing thing. Where one day, the first day, Snoop Dogg was like, "Hey, everybody, I'm going smokeless," and then that was a whole thing. I got a lot of attention and marketing and all that stuff. And then the next day, they did like the second part of the marketing, which is the smokeless barbecue sauce or whatever it was supposed to be. But nobody cared about that anymore.
I have a question. Does Martha Stewart really get high with Snoop Dogg?
Oh yeah, Martha's down.
That's the thing, she loves to get high.
Yeah, Martha's down with the cause, man.
Down with the cause.
Once you've been in prison, man, you know.
Well, Martha and Snoop are apparently like this. They're really close friends.
I'm just back on my Highlander shit. I'm looking at the Rotten Tomatoes, and that drop off, it goes from critic score, mind you, 71% for the first one to 0% for the second.
Yeah, you really don't see it, honestly.
The first one's really fun. It's good. I used to watch the TV show that had like the rock opera soundtrack and stuff.
It's like going from Hellraiser to Hellraiser 2. You don't need to do it. It's fine.
I didn't mind Hellraiser 2, but I did not care for 3 and 4.
Yeah, Bloodlines was weird. The fourth one, I think that's one when they were like in space.
Yeah, and they met Fast and Furious out there.
Yeah.
The thing with the Hellraiser series is that there's so much interesting conceptually in there that it's like I want to try to dig through, but like there's just so much crap to push through.
Yeah.
I'm gonna know more about the Cenobites and like the Cenobite world and stuff like that, but it just turned into more like just weird like sexual fantasy kind of stuff. You know?
Yeah, I think there was a series of comics a few years ago that dug into more of that stuff, right?
Yeah. I remember back in the late 80s, I read a ton of Clive Barker, and I definitely was posting some cleavage thirst traps.
Yeah, she was.
What?
I don't know if I'm gonna look that up. I don't.
I'm okay.
Y'all.
It's gonna happen. Give me 2 seconds.
I'm learning so much. I thought we were going to talk about cookies, and now I got Martha Stewart's cleavage in my face.
That's all related. Martha Stewart's gonna cook you some cookies, my guy.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
The wheat cookies.
So I feel like I need to at least get a copy of Highlander, like for my collection. That seems like it should happen.
Absolutely, you can catch it on sale right now. I think it's like $10, $10 to $15.
I saw there was a new like all kinds of special editions and shit. Like that's dope.
I have a question for Lou regarding Blu-rays.
Okay.
I need to get the complete Twilight Zone on Blu-ray.
Ooh.
How do I comparison shop? I mean, I just go to Amazon and I saw that it was $44. Is there a site you use that you can plug it in and it can show you the prices for other online sites? How do you find the best deal on your Blu-rays?
Most of the time, honestly, I just do an Amazon search, Google search.
Google
and
search.
then I go shopping, and then I do on the shopping section, and I compare the prices that way. I know there's a lot more techie ways to do it. I know there's apps and stuff out there now that'll help you out with stuff like that. But that's really just how I do it. And I mean, I've got my frequent websites that I go to, but that's how I do.
She looks good to me there.
Wow, Martha.
Of course, I'm 65, so
maybe she'll be the next Nancy Reagan.
She should be the next Mrs. Bragg. I'm digging her. Fortunately, upper management just left the floor.
Oh, she's 82. She's 82.
No way. What?
Bullshit.
Yep. No.
Born in 1941. I think she predates pizza.
Go back. No, there's no way.
What a landmark to base it on. When was pizza invented?
She's almost as old as Superman.
Predates pizza.
I'm trying to find. She's 82.
Show that picture again for science.
Let me bring it back up.
Okay.
I can't believe she's 82.
I don't think she's had any work done. You could tell on a person's face when they've had work done.
That's a saber-toothed tiger right there. That's not a cougar.
earliest pizza chains founded in the 1950s. So, you know.
What a reference point. She's older than pizza.
I want that on a t-shirt.
She remembers. You could talk to Martha and be like, hey, ma'am, do you recall a time before pizza was popularized in the US? And she'd say, yeah, I remember when I was a young girl and they brought pizza into the US. I think it was soldiers in Italy had tried pizza pie and then basically comes out to the US.
She was like 3 years old at the end of World War II. Holy shit.
Guacamole. Sorry, but I'm there for her.
Right click save.
Yeah.
She's a very attractive older woman.
I will screenshot this.
I wonder what her favorite pizza is. She's had to have had like every single one.
I want her to make me cookies. Where did you get this, Gabe? What site is it? It said oldest.
This is Sports Illustrated.
Sports Illustrated? Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll do some research for it.
Well, I'll just put it in our chat, Jess.
Thank you, buddy.
Good for her. Good for her.
There's more pictures too, apparently.
She's on the cover.
She did the swimsuit catalog?
There's your cleavage shot.
Holy guacamole.
I would not peg her. I didn't know she was that old. I would not peg her for 82.
I thought she was my age. Wow. Well, that's the last swimsuit issue because Sports Illustrated just liquidated.
Yeah,
they who was it? Whoever it was didn't renew their contract with them or something, right?
Is that true?
Yeah.
Sports Illustrated gonzo, dude. They fired everybody.
They let everybody go.
Someone fucked up. They didn't renew the contract correctly, something like that. And so like just immediately instead of having because it's something like
they owed $135 million to
right.
Guy.
Huge, like a sum of money because of the fact that it wasn't renewed properly. So they just were like, nope, we're done. We're done.
All right.
This is a new one too. This is swimsuit 2023.
They closed out with a bang.
Yeah, I remember that coming out. I remember that issue recently because I was, I'm on the internet. I live on the freaking internet.
Great. Hey, James, can you send me a link in eBay to get that issue for research purposes?
That's probably, it might be worth something because it's the last swimsuit issue.
Yeah.
You probably, I want, they'll probably, well, I don't know. I was gonna say they'll probably do like retrospective stuff for Sports Illustrated, but if the company that was publishing it does not have the rights, then I don't know who would do it. Because like Playboy did a retrospective hardcover of like all their centerfolds.
What is sports nowadays, right? Because there's esports now, and there's Championship Excel. Yeah, there's Championship.
There's slap boxing now, dude. Slap
boxing.
There's
farming simulator, slap boxing, Championship, Microsoft
slap
Excel.
Boxing. Well, that Excel spreadsheet competition.
Go to get in on this. She's losing money.
My daughter would kill in that competition. She makes spreadsheets for everything. When we went to Disney World, we had a binder of spreadsheets of what our schedule was every day laid out, and it took her like 5 minutes to just she's the queen.
Same with most like contact sports, the best slap boxing is the hot chicks.
Yeah, are they using their bare hands, or do they have gloves, or
give me 2 seconds?
I have no idea what slap boxing even
I don't either.
To like give that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is a thing that's been popular lately.
I understand.
I don't get the appeal. I think this is stupid, honestly. And with the rise of CTE, I'm like, this is just dumb.
What's CTE?
I'll tell you in a minute.
Brain damage from like getting hit,
the concussions,
things like that.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was there?
Yeah, he was an early investor.
This just
fighting.
It feels like it was born out of like dudes watching too much Jackass and drinking too many Michelob Lights.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I had a slap fight in 7th grade.
Well, this is like when they made like a beer pong like a thing.
Like yeah, that's right, a professional beer pong league. What's happening? Holy guacamole!
Changing, man.
I don't know. I had another question for everyone, but I forgot.
Oh, please try to remember.
Oh, I got it. So it's not really a question, but like, I don't know about y'all, but myself being actively posting on all kinds of platforms and stuff, whenever I post something about physical media, i.e. like Blu-ray type stuff, like whenever I talk about like, oh, I got this, or this is coming out, like, we get, as collectors, we get excited about like boutique releases. For anime, I get super excited about discotheque releases. They announced recently that Berserk was coming. The 1997 Berserk series is coming to Blu-ray. Super excited.
I need that. Yeah, I need that. I am exclusively 4K stuff, but I will break that for that set.
So, we are excited about that kind of stuff, and like boutique places like Arrow and Lorber, different Vinegar Syndrome, who have these special releases that we get excited about because it's like, oh, we've never been able to get this movie in this format, or this is a really nice edition of this one, or this is an upgraded, whatever the case is, we get excited about it. So I make content about these things, and I specifically made a video about Berserk that I just mentioned. And I am like, immediately, in any case, when I talk about this kind of stuff online, immediately and multiple times throughout the life of the video, I get people commenting, you can just watch it for free online. You can just do what, and I'm like, that's not new information. Do you think that you're providing us with some vital information for our everyday lives, Lori Beth Denberg? No, you're not. It's like everyone knows things are available to stream legally or not legally, but I'm sitting here talking about the fact that a Blu-ray edition of something is coming out that is in high definition, an upgraded version, all this type of stuff. It's just, this is one of those, like, this is grinding my gears type of thing. Like, why? It's not really, it wasn't a question at all, I guess. I'm just you, isn't that just bullshit? Like,
well, wouldn't Blu-ray automatically be better quality than Hulu, even on a 4K TV?
But these are, it's like the people who say this stuff, they're not the people that are concerned about the quality of the image. They're not the people that are concerned about the sound of the image. Maybe because they haven't experienced that stuff before. Because I have experienced certain things where I was like, oh shit, I get it. Like I had that Danny DeVito moment. But like at the end of the day, it could be boo-boo quality. And if it's a physical release, it's coming out for the first time physically, it's never been available physically, or it's been out of print for a long time, I'm going to get excited about it because I just like owning things.
Yeah.
I like having physical shit in my collection.
You're a collector.
I'm sure one day they're going to realize when all their stuff disappears that they bought digitally or it gets taken down off of whatever platform they're watching it on. And then they're going to realize like, oh, I should have probably got that like on Blu-ray.
But I always get people who are like, you can pirate that. And I'll be like, yeah, I do pirate stuff. I have physical bootlegs. That's my piracy because I want it physically. So I buy bootlegs. Still piracy.
They're missing the point that you're a collector of physical media.
Exactly. Okay. I wanted to back it up because I was actually thinking a lot about this during lunch. And part of the reason that I brought this topic up in the chat was because of a moment that I had the other day. So I think, and this extends not just for movies, but for video games, for comic books, which we are in and stuff like that. I'm exclusively digital for comics at this point, just because of the space. It's convenient, yada, yada, yada. But I do understand that there is a trade-off there. And
it's a convenience factor.
It's a convenience factor. And while I think that I'm willing to accept the trade-off there are some drawbacks to that. Namely, in comics, I don't really own that thing.
Yep.
If, let's say, whatever platform that I use let's take the DC Unlimited app, right? Jess and I, we are subscribed to the DC Unlimited app. I love it. I use it almost on a daily basis because it's just really convenient. Let's say with the way
it's just a month behind everything. It's amazing.
Exactly. It's amazing. Let's say Warner Brothers folds, which might be closer to that than we think.
Yeah. Or gets sold to somebody else again.
And they decide, you know what? We have no real use for this DC Unlimited app, whatever. I lose access. It's gone.
Yeah.
All the access that I had, the money that I put into it, it's gone. The likelihood of it happening, not exactly huge, but still, I'm using it as an example. The other trade-off is that we are giving up a sense of an experience, I think. And I had this moment of kind of pseudo clarity the other day when I was drinking my coffee and my 1-year-old was crawling around and she was picking stuff off of the shelf, at the bottom shelf that I have where I keep movies and stuff like that, which reminds me I need to move stuff around because there's no reason why she should be pulling out Texas Chainsaw Massacre from the bottom of the shelf. She's a 1-year-old, so I got to really reshift stuff around in there. But it's interactive. And it brought me back to a moment of clarity of when I was a kid and my father would get out of work and we would go to Blockbuster and I would roam the aisles because I was a hyperactive little shit and they could not keep me satiated. And it was an experience. And I think there's something to be said about that because this is a generation of kids that I think will not grow up with that experience of having something tangible in their hands because it's a tablet. And yeah, it's a tablet, but there's there's a level of textile and there's a level of an experience there of pulling something out, actually going through it and enjoying it and forming a memory with it. I really don't think there is necessarily a memory of I turn on my TV, I pop on Netflix, and I watch MILF Manor season 3, and that's it. Versus I'm going to the store, I'm having an experience, I'm with my family, and I think there's something that's a bit lost there. And I think that's a bit disappointing. And to kind of bring it back even to comics, I can, but I can't take my tablet and just hand it to Greg Capullo and go, "Hey man, I want you to sign this." And he's like, "Yeah, I'll sign the back of it," but really, there's nothing personal there. Versus if I take, I'm just using this as an example. If I take the first issue of Batman New 52 and I hand it to Greg Capullo and he signs it, there's a personal experience there because it's a physical thing that Greg Capullo actually worked on. And not only that, a lot of these artists and a lot of these writers, they'll personalize it. Darwin Cook, he was really well known for if you bring something to him, he'll do even a little sketch inside of it. So there's little stuff like that that is missing. And I'm kind of wondering what the future holds for physical collection. I think there will always be people out there that will prefer it. And we've seen it simply because of the rise in vinyl over the last few years. Vinyl was considered a very dead medium for a long time. And now we have Vinyl Day, where people go out to these vinyl and record shops and they get discounts and they spend money, and these new albums that are coming out, people are putting them on vinyl because they realize there is a market there. So while a lot of people out there are crying gloom and doom for a lot of physical media, and that includes books and everything like that, I think that there will always be a bit of a niche market that will always go for the real deal experience.
As a vinyl collector, I had to, when we moved, upper level management said, you need to make a decision on your 5,000 records here. Everything, she said, you can get everything on streaming. And I said, okay, let me check on some of these hard to find albums. And I checked, and I could get a lot of them on streaming. And Riley and I had a conversation of where I could find Neil Young because he jumped off of Spotify because of a beef he had with somebody. So I couldn't find him there, but Riley pointed out he was on Amazon. But not everything is streaming. I had a collection of 20 the Smiths that your 12-year-old likes, Lou. I had that I got back in like the mid 80s that were 12-inch singles. It would be the hit song on the A side, but the flip side had live recordings. And I sold those, and the live recordings aren't on streaming anywhere.
Yeah.
And they're apparently freaking amazing. And that's gone now. I can't get those back. I looked at what they cost. Each one of those things is like $35, and they cost me $5 back in 1984. So I'm with you 100% that, and with Riley about wanting the item. I mean, I made a big mistake. I just thought, oh, the Smiths, okay. But I mean, it's going to grind my gears for the rest of my life that I can't get those back. And this and stuff's getting pulled off of, we've talked a lot about the stuff that gets pulled off of HBO, the animated DC stuff. And it just disappears. And it doesn't necessarily show up on Netflix or Amazon. I don't know where The Brave and the Bold is. Did somebody pick it up?
Batman Brave.
Yeah. Fortunately, I have my physical copies, but they pulled it, and they pulled a bunch of other DC stuff.
I think the issue right now is also that a lot of these companies during the pandemic put all their money into streaming, and now they're starting to realize, oh, we fucked up. This was not a good long-term investment.
And COVID.
Yeah, it was COVID, and we're starting to see kind of the blowback in that. And the streaming wars are here, right? Realistically speaking, not all these streaming services that we have right now are gonna make it the next 10 years. If you had to put money, it would probably be the big three, right? Netflix, Amazon, mostly Amazon because it's Amazon and they can just keep throwing money at it and don't have to worry about it, and Disney. Those are probably going to be your three big ones that are going to make it through this. But some of the other stuff probably going to be gone in the next few years. Max, it's garbage for the most part right now, other than like True Detective and the show that they have every once in a while. Paramount is about to go under as well. They're under some financial issues. So
Netflix is getting Monday Night Raw. Did you see that?
Yeah, Netflix is getting Monday Night Raw. But Netflix keeps the issue with Netflix is that they keep screwing over their customer base. Yeah. They keep changing the pricing plan. They just announced it again today that they're changing how the pricing plan works. And I'm just throwing my hands up in the air and just saying, you know what? Okay. What evidently is gonna end up happening is and I think a lot of people are starting to realize it because DVD sales have actually started to climb up again this year, is that a lot of people are waking up and going, this streaming stuff isn't really all that it's cracked up to be like we thought a few years ago. Maybe we've made a mistake. And it's going to drive people to do a few things. You're going to have your diehards who are going to stick with it. You're going to have your people that are going to go, fuck that. I'm just going to pirate it because that's what we did during cable. And hey, cable's back, ladies and gentlemen. It's just called streaming. And you're going to have your people that are just going to go, you know what? I'm just going to buy physical media. And there will be boutique labels. There will be boutique stuff like Riley pointed out, Vinegar Syndrome, Arrow, those things. And they will be just fine. I think as far as comics are concerned, for comics, digital is going to be a huge part of the future. And a lot of these mom and pop shops are going to go under, but you're still going to have your boutique shops that are going to be fine. We've said this for years. You're still going to have your Torpedo. You're still going to have your, what's the big one that Jess frequented?
Third Eye.
Third Eye. They're going to be fine because they've got that clientele and they've already pretty much adapted to it. They've already kind of not necessarily moved on from it, but they've got different revenue streams. And they've accepted the fact that comics are here, but digital comics are here as well.
Well, I talked about this on the Patreon. Is
the sales, yeah.
When we were talking about like comic book sales and how they're kind of fudging the numbers and stuff like that. That digital actually dipped. So maybe there's something going on with that. That might be a one-time thing. We'll see in the future. But I agree 100% with what everybody's saying here. I'm with you guys on physical media. I sold a bunch of Blu-rays a long time ago. I'm like, man, I wish I had these back. So I'm kind of, I got 4K and all that stuff now. So I can kind of move forward with getting physical media of things. And we've talked about it before. I get it because things have been taken off due to controversial subjects in the shows. SpongeBob had stuff removed. A bunch of episodes have been dropped for things like that. I like the idea of the boutique stuff. Let me get a really cool special 4K off of Orbits or off of, Arrow or whatever. But the thing also with physical media that we didn't quite talk about when it's physical versus streaming, music, movies, whatever it might be. And you kind of touch on it real quick, Lou, but we're running into it where everything's ads now. I hate it when I'm at the gym and I'm listening to music and an ad pops up. I'm like, and I can't skip it. Because again, I'm not going to pay, another subscription service for Spotify that doesn't have all the music. And then I have to pay another one for Amazon Music and then for Apple or for whatever, just to get rid of ads, right? So with physical media, I don't have to worry about ads cutting me off. I'm not watching Brave and the Bold and all of a sudden some SSRI depression medication shows up or insurance or something like that pops up in the middle of my show. It's agitating. It's annoying. It takes me out of the experience of watching the show. So to me, that's one of the major factors as well. Like you said, cable's back. You know, we're getting commercials with everything again. I'd rather just get the DVD set and watch it that way to avoid things being removed, episodes I love or that I want to see. I want to have a complete collection of stuff and having to deal with ads. Streaming service, again, eventually they're going to just consolidate down to a handful of whatever rises to the top. Eventually we're going to run into situations where more paywalls are going to happen. I'm sure the big old director strikes and the actor strikes and all that has caused these services to have to go back up as well. So it's just one of those things where physical is better in those types of situations where I get what I want when I want. I don't have to worry about, it's the weather is kind of crappy, so my internet's being weird or whatever the case might be in order to enjoy music or TV or shows.
Or even comics. You know, going back to comics, and we probably, admittingly, we're probably not the target audience because we kind of have the collector bug for certain things that they're not focusing on this for the most part. But there is a factor there of I own this. It can't be changed. It can't be altered. It's mine. I paid money for it, and I don't have to worry about. I don't have to worry about DC Comics pulling it from the DC Universe Unlimited app because of something that is not relevant to today's time and age, and people get offended by it. Which it also speaks. I'm gonna sound like an old man yelling at cloud. It also speaks kind of to the level of education in our society when people cannot distinguish when something is created in a certain time period and the context is in that time period. If you have a problem with the way Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, those stories are written, that is the time period, unfortunately. But it is part of that time period. And that is why it's important to read those things within the context of that time period, because you understand it's messed up. That's how it was. That's how they talked. Unfortunately, we've gotten a lot better about it. Some things we have, some things we haven't. But context is key. And we have to teach a generation of children that context is key. If we don't instill that in them, we are going to raise a generation of idiots.
It's not just that, but it's also a piece of history that shows our evolution as people.
Yes.
Okay. We haven't always been super, inclusive and stuff like that. We've grown as a society. We've grown as people. But to show that growth, we have to be able to understand that there was a time where we stole a bunch of people from a different country and brought them over here and, auctioned them off. And I think there's like a Predator collected edition that's coming out that had stories that took place in the Civil War. And I think they're taking some of that stuff out because of, suspectedly they're saying because of the slavery issues, And again, it's just censoring history and our growth and evolution. I mean, you can only learn from your mistakes. You can't erase your mistakes. You have to learn from them. You don't learn from them by erasing them as well.
Well, look at this old chestnut, the Shazam issues, the Captain Marvel issues, the classic ones.
Mm-hmm.
This close from getting an omnibus of that classic content years ago. DC blinked at the last minute because of the questionable material that was in there. Rather than putting something in the book, a page before you actually start getting into it, a disclaimer. Hey, we do not support this type of material anymore. This was the context of the time period. Go ahead. You can read this. Something as simple as that, if you have to put it.
And then here's the thing. That's always going to be a sliding scale. Things that we're doing today, 10, 15, 20 years down the road might be considered inappropriate. We don't know, right? That all kind of changes with society and the mentality of the world, right? So that's going to be, if we keep doing it, it's going to continue to happen with what we're doing today, what we're doing in 20 years. As we step forward, there's going to be more and more reasons to find things to kind of erase or disappear or change. And that's not going to be a legitimate way to provide any kind of entertainment or provide any kind of societal like growth again.
I don't remember growing up like being in school and having any issue with understanding the context of stuff. And so that's one of the things I think that's a little curious to me is like, why are teachers in this generation or parents, one of the two, I don't know, but why do they, is it the kids that are the kids really not understanding things, or do the parents just not give their kids enough credit? Because like, you know, I read and watched all of these books, like Lou was talking about Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn and stuff like that. And we knew, like, I was a kid and I knew what was appropriate and what wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't run around saying things I shouldn't say. I didn't run around treating people differently if I shouldn't have. And I turned out, you know, pretty fucking cool, I think.
That's how you learn. Like, I think that's how we all learned. It was like, hey, did you see Roots? I remember seeing Roots and going to school the next day. I'm like, man, this is weird. Like, what's going on now?
You had a teacher, Riley, that would, just like I did, that would explain the situation and as Lou said, give context to it.
It was mostly my parents, because like the only conversation about it that I remember having is like my great grandmother would say some shit that was like not okay, and my dad would look at me and be like, it is of her time. She's not really meaning those things with hate. Do not repeat anything that she's saying. Like, that's not how you are, you know, having that conversation with me. And I never blinked an eye. I never had any issue. I never did. And it's really interesting to me, like, that now. I mean, I don't have kids, but like, I know that there's a lot of issues with kids in school now, like not really learning this as they're supposed to. Like, kids are not able to read and stuff. And as being a content creator on a platform that has a ton of kids on it, I can tell you that a lot of these kids don't have comprehension skills whatsoever. Like, I've complained about it a lot.
Our education system is going down the toilet.
But I just what and I don't want to be the old man yelling at the cloud, but like there's a lot of, I understand a lot of, like, you know, you want to be careful with certain things, but also like I don't get it, because that wasn't an issue growing up. That wasn't an issue. There was no issue with worrying that we didn't understand. There was no issue in worrying. And those who didn't get it, those who did start repeating the things that were hateful, repeating things that were not good, they got reprimanded for it. Like, it's not like we had a racist kid in my school that didn't get in trouble for being racist. Like, if you were racist, you're getting pretty punished, you know, that type of stuff. But back onto the topic of physical media, I wanted to mention this comment that I got on Twitter, because I made a tweet talking about the whole, like, people saying, you know, you can just stream it, you know, you can just get it for free online. And someone responded, I'm just going to read it exactly as they typed it. Listen, I used to say that all the time. I stopped buying anime altogether. When Eva, Neon Genesis Evangelion, came to Netflix without the OG dub and Fly Me to the Moon ending, thank gosh I have the platinum release. After that, I swore I'd keep buying physical if I can afford it. That's another case of like something where it is a kind of an odd case, but like when Netflix got Evangelion, it was a completely new dub. And because of rights issues with the song Fly Me to the Moon, they had to change the outro to it. And so now this person in particular stating that they're happy that they have the old editions that have that. And they continue to buy things physically. And I got other comments from people saying, you know, after so-and-so started removing things from their platform, I became a lot more careful about making sure that I bought certain things. And it's like, I'm not even making content to tell people, like, you have to buy everything physically. You have to do exactly what I'm doing to be okay in my book. No, I'm just putting the info out there because I know, like, everyone cares about something. And this might be the thing that you really care about. And I want to help make sure that you know, damn, that's in 4K.
I'm going to find a better version. That one was
bothering me. Clean.
That's a great one.
Yeah, that was in 4K, man.
with the arm moving. That's awesome.
But anyway, you know, I present content to help people with things, and if you want to, you know, if you see me talking about Berserk and that's the first you heard that they're releasing the 97 series on Blu-ray, fantastic. Now you know. Maybe I had one video where I talked about they're doing a new dub for a shoujo rom-com series, Lovecom, and I mentioned it coming out just because they have what's his name, Charlie White, the YouTuber, Moist Critical, is playing a character, like a little cameo character in there. And so I made a video about that because it's funny. And a lot of people didn't know that new edition was coming out. And they're like, oh my God, thank you for talking about this. Like, I went and pre-ordered it right away. And I've even had people say, like, I never buy physical releases of stuff, but I really care about this, so I'm going to buy this one. And that's all it is. Like, you might be someone that is completely fine with watching streaming services. On top of the hundreds of physical Blu-rays that I have of movies, TV shows, anime, I also subscribe to Hulu, Netflix, and other services. I use both. And I think that's something that people don't realize, is that there's not a like cutoff of like, you're not cool in my book if you don't do the exact same thing that I do. It's like, no, you're not cool in my book if you're sitting here basically trying to tell people, you know, you can get it for free, and trying to like shame someone for buying stuff. When at the end of the day, I'll be completely honest with you, I just like owning stuff.
Well, me and you, Riley, we really like the Cartoon Planet stuff. You know, like Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, Space Ghost, Coast to Coast, Steel Lab 2021. They took that stuff off of Hulu recently, didn't they? So like,
I haven't checked.
I think that was one of the conversations we were having.
Can you even get Space Ghost, Coast to Coast on Blu-ray or DVD?
Some of the last couple of seasons, like 3, 4, and 5, are like really expensive.
That's what I thought.
$100 DVDs or something like that.
I have all the info. Hold on.
Well,
yeah, you can. I'll send you my address too for those, Riley, just so you know.
You have them, but I don't, and I want them, and now they're too expensive.
No, I have the easy ones. I don't have that. Okay, so.
Oh yeah, I have the first like 3 seasons of Space Ghost. I have Barack. Yeah.
So the first 3 volumes, it's not even seasons, just volumes, because it's not technically the first season. These 3 are pretty easy to come by. You can buy these cheap. Then they released. Here's what the thing was. Adult Swim, back when they had their store on their website, they did a service where they were releasing certain discs on demand, manufactured on demand, and that's how the 4th and 5th volumes were produced. Was only on demand. And I think, if I'm remembering this correctly, one of those 2 was like a volume 0 type thing, because it was the actual original episodes before Adult Swim. And then it was called like the 98 episodes or something like that, 1998 episodes. And then after that, it was later episodes. Then there's also another set that like a few people made. And this is even weirder and makes even harder to get stuff for Adult Swim media. Adult Swim's store had this thing where you could make custom DVDs, and you could put episodes of whatever shows you wanted on that DVD, design all the stuff, and they'd make it for you and send it to you. And so you could have like a little mix of like a couple episodes of BRAC, a couple episodes of HEHF. And there were episodes of Space Ghost that were only ever available physically if you put them onto one of those discs. And so there are some people have that, and there's a specially designed cover, I think, that people have made for it. But it's those last chunks of episodes that only exist if you were smart enough to do something like that. Unfortunately, I didn't know about that. I was not trying to collect all the stuff at the time, so I'm SOL. And those other MOD volumes, I'm SOL on those as well. And that's of Adult Swim physical media. That's 2 out of the like 6 things that I don't own. I have every piece of Adult Swim physical media except for like 6 items, 2 of those being Space Ghost.
Yeah, so Space Ghost is on Hulu, but it's locked for some reason. I don't know if I need like a different subscription for it or whatever the case is.
Does it say something if you click on it?
I think when it comes down to it, it's ultimately about preservation and the accessibility of having something that is unaltered and unchanged, and the ability to have something in its original context. We unfortunately we can't get right now the original trilogy of Star Wars in an unaltered form in 4K unless you go through some other means that one of us here has gone through.
Right here, dude.
Because for whatever reason, the specialized editions are the ones that we have right now. So those, I think the last set was a DVD box set from the mid 2000s that was untouched, and that was the last time we had unspecialized editions.
Yeah, I've got my bootlegs of the. Nice. Those are the specialized official releases.
Well, la dee da, Mister.
I got mine over there. I even have the Christmas special.
I do too.
Yes.
So hell yeah. It's about preservation. It's about, I have this thing. It's not going to get changed. I don't have to worry about Max being bought out by Paramount or whatever it is, and then I'm not going to be able to watch it on this, and then I got to hunt it down on something. No, if I want to watch The Guest, I can pull out the DVD that I have and I can watch The Guest. If I want to watch all the seasons of Game of Thrones, I have them all here. So it's just convenience as that.
Well,
that too.
In the chat that we have over the past 6 months, 9 months, we've made, and Omar's really good at knowing this kind of stuff, of what's things like It's Always Sunny and Community, having, and 30 Rock, having particular episodes pulled and only available on the Blu-rays or the DVDs even.
The Michael Jackson episode from The Simpsons. Yeah,
I have that just by sheer luck.
Yeah.
And so you guys had convinced me that I better get the DVD sets. I got the DVD sets of 30 Rock and Community. I need to work up the dosh to get all 14 seasons of It's Always Sunny, but I know there's stuff that's been pulled from that show. And I love owning it now because I have the whole show. And if it's offensive, then I just won't watch it. If I find it offensive, I don't want anybody else telling me what I can watch or read or see. So if I have the DVDs...
You're not mature enough to deal with some of these topics, Jess. According to whatever corporate entity is saying that their censorship is correct.
Yeah, I've said this before on this channel. I don't want anyone telling me what I can and cannot listen to or read or watch. You give it to me, and if I find it offensive, I won't watch it. And
you'll root beer
it. I leave it up to me. I'm the consumer. I'm the one that is watching this stuff. I don't want anyone telling me what I can and can't watch. So that's, I mean, I think It's Always Sunny is the next one I'm going to have to get because I know episodes have been pulled from the show.
Yeah. That's what got me started getting all the SpongeBob stuff because some of the SpongeBob stuff got taken down.
SpongeBob has had stuff taken out?
Yeah.
What the hell could SpongeBob have said?
I forgot what it was. I'll have to look it up, but there was just certain things on there that they just... There was one where it was like... I might be wrong, but something about Bikini Bottom went through like a pandemic. So during the pandemic, they took it down, I think. Something weird like that. What? But there's a handful of episodes that they took away.
Well, I will say, circling back to what Lou was saying about talking about things in context, DC, this is the Wonder Woman Golden Age Volume 3. They also put it in Detective Chimp. And they now have a standard disclaimer. It's super tiny print, but it says the comics in this volume were produced in a time when racism played a larger role in society and popular culture, both consciously and unconsciously. They are unaltered in this collection with the understanding that they are presented as historical documents. That's all you need.
That's
I mean,
kind of what they do on Disney Plus.
That's
and
exactly what you need. Now, here's the funny thing: is the only thing I found in Wonder Woman that was she's always tied up in every single comic. She's always tied up. She gets
those
into
covers
bondage.
are always more expensive too.
She's always in bondage in every single issue, and it's great. I love the Wonder Woman Golden Age more than I love any of the other Golden Age, but they re-released Silver Age Green Lantern. This is volume 1. So they re-released this, and this does not have the disclaimer, but this has blatant racism in it, which I covered in my overview. Hal Jordan has an Inuit assistant for him at Ferris Aircraft. Let me see if I can find a picture of him, of the guy. He's an Inuit, and
Pie Face.
They call him Pie Face.
Yeah.
Which is a slur. It's an Asian slur, meaning somebody with a broad face who is dumb. And Pie Face is the smartest guy in the comic. He figures out Hal Jordan's secret identity. He figures out Green Lantern's secret identity like immediately. And so they're trying to call him, Pie Face and dumb him down. And he's basically his assistant there at Ferris Aircraft. Oh, how did I not find a picture anyway? Pie Face goes on to be a major character throughout the series. And he gets bigger roles up through like Infinite Crisis as a smaller character. But I just thought it was weird that, that's not the best picture of Pie Face.
He was even played by Taika Waititi in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
I never saw the movie.
I forgot that.
But yeah, I mean, he's unconscious there, but he's like Hal's best friend. So I just thought it was weird that the book with the actual Asian slur offensive. Oh, good. Thanks. There's got to be a picture of Pie Face in there.
This is all pictures of Pie Face. Even newer stuff too. He's still around. Tom, Pie Face, Kalmaku.
And so this one didn't come with a disclaimer. This is the one that needed the disclaimer, and it's got Pie Face in it.
I don't think they call him Pie Face anymore, though. I think they've given that up.
Yeah. They give him his full name now.
Yeah. Gabe, when you were showing Space Ghost from eBay, there was one that you went past that said volume ?
Yeah.
I believe is the one that was like the custom thing.
Sweet.
That's one of those discs.
How much are those selling for?
Let me see. Bring it back up.
That specific one was $120. And then there's the 1998 episodes. That's like the volume 0.
Yeah, that was like $150. Or wait, here's one that's 55.
Yeah, there's a couple that are pretty cheap, all things considered, to where it was before, like you said, like $150. And then the rarest one is Kentucky Nightmare, which is on there for $400.
On here.
That's that would be volume 4. Absolutely.
It's just like the most plain Jane looking, box.
How many episodes would be on that?
It says on the look at the back of it. The picture of the back says, I think it's like 12 episodes.
14 episodes on 2 discs.
I don't think even 2016 Jess would do that. I love Space Ghost, but that's a lot of dosh. But that is very rare.
Jess, do you have the old school Space Ghost DVD?
Oh, from when he was on like ABC in 1968?
Right, the one that
or CBS or whatever it was.
Dang it! What's the name of the artist? Alex Toth.
Alex Toth.
Yeah. So on that DVD, I need to get it. There's a second DVD that's a documentary about Alex Toth. And apparently all it is talking heads of how difficult Alex Toth was to work with.
I love it.
Like I was watching this interview with Mike Allred on the Cartoonist Kayfabe, and he was friends with Alex Toth for a while. And at one point, Alex Toth just cut him off. Like, plain just done, out of here. I don't want to be your friend anymore. You offended me. Because Mike Allred would send him stuff like cookies and like food and snacks that he wanted. And for some, I guess he had some kids running around his house who dropped change in the box. So when he shipped it and mailed it, Alex Toth thought that he was was giving him cash because he was poor and it was a charity case. And wasn't hearing anything about it. It was like, no, that's it, we're done. So apparently that DVD is just people's stories of how difficult Alex Toth was. I want to pick it up. Like, that's just really cool to me.
I love little stuff like that. You can watch so for Tropic Thunder, if you listen to the DVD commentary, it's Robert Downey Jr. in character as the guy who he did his blackface doing the DVD commentary of Tropic Thunder. It's a reference to the movie because he says in the movie, I never dropped character until after the DVD commentary. And they stuck with the bit. It's awesome. It's
I have that. I gotta listen to that.
Yeah, I want to get the is it Cannibal the Musical where Matt Stone and Trey Parker are just drinking the whole time?
Yes. Yeah, where they leave halfway through it to go get beers or something like that, and then they come back and the movie's still playing. There's a great one where it's an Armageddon where Ben Affleck has clearly been drinking, and he's making fun of Michael Bay because apparently on the set he asked Michael Bay, well, Michael, wouldn't it make more sense if we use the astronauts since they're trained to go into space and have them be trained to use drills instead of sending guys who've never been in space to use drills? And Michael Bay just goes and looks, fuck off, Ben Affleck. And that's Ben Affleck is like, okay, that was the end of the conversation. Oh my God, I love it. Kevin Smith does the director's commentary for Roadhouse, which is great.
You don't get that kind of stuff on streaming now, do you?
All right. Guys, if you guys want to stick around for a while, go ahead. I have to bounce out of here. I'm going
to bail too, but I'm sure William Lee. This is what I'm talking about. It's Space Ghost and Dog Dino, the complete series. It's on Amazon for like $20.
I love that as a kid.
Yeah, this is the one that there's a Blu-ray of it. Interesting. But this is the one that has that second disc. Good
night, Lou.
Just a whole interview about Alex Toth and his career on Space Ghost. And apparently just everybody just bad-mouthing the guy.
That's funny.
I need to get those first 3 Space Ghosts. I was looking for my copy of Tropic Thunder to see that, but I've already filed it away in my...
There was a website, because I used to listen to DVD commentaries. Just it's almost like a podcast to me. And there was a website that had like a bunch of DVD commentaries just uploaded on there just for that. But yeah, that I didn't know that about Tropic Thunder, and now I'm really, really interested in that.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm out of here too, guys. Have a good night.
Oh, okay. Peace and love. Riley and I will talk about cookies.
Yeah, yeah. I can discuss cookies with you for a minute.
Yeah. Okay.
Costco cookies.
Yeah. Wait. I'll show you the.
I think I saw the picture. It was like a massive looking cookie.
Yeah. Just a sec. It's from Takeout, which is there it is. That's broken in half.
Yeah.
And it's quite cheap. Costco's new chocolate chip cookie, $2.49, is a big honkin' chocolate chip cookie. Notably, it's made with all butter, features a blend of semi-sweet and bittersweet chocolate chips. And they dropped the churro, which apparently nobody was eating. Cookies served warm. If you need any indication of how decadent it is, it clocks in at 750 calories, or about the same as Crumble's semi-sweet chocolate chunk cookie. And they said that it's really quite good. And I want to go and get it warm, and we do a taste test on the show.
You'll have to send me one because I don't.
You don't have a Costco?
No, I don't have a membership. I think there's a Costco around the corner from me. I don't know.
Well, there's the cookie talk.
Um,
I just love chocolate chip cookies. Damn it.
There's also Subway introduced a like foot-long cookie.
3 foot long.
3 foot long. I thought it was.
It's a 3 foot long cookie.
I don't know.
I have that up too. Oh, NFL dudes already had it. Really solid, better than what they have in the pastry area.
Man, we're behind the times already, man. Pull up the Subway one, because I swear it was just they had three different foot long items.
Yeah,
the cookie, the pretzel, and the churro.
Right. Okay.
And I did see someone on TikTok that tried it, and he got one, and he said it was, it was fine, it was good, it's a chocolate chip cookie, but I think he said his was a little overcooked, so it might vary from location to location. But then he got 2 of them, and he put ice cream in the middle and got like a foot long ice cream sandwich.
Oh my god. Let's see. Subway, Cosmic McSee's, oh, here it is. Okay. Doing. 3 new foot long. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. 3 new. Like... I thought it was 3 feet long.
There's not a yard. What the hell?
I got the 3 mixed up.
I don't think they can do that because they don't have ovens big enough.
Okay. It's a foot long. They did a taste test, and the cookie was the best thing. Pretzel was too hard, but it comes with some kind of dip, and the churro was decent apparently. Let's see. How does what's the pricing like? So they did a taste test. There's the pretzel.
Less than $5, like maybe $3 or something. I don't know.
The footlong pretzel retails at Subway for $3. Yeah. Subway's footlong churro. Footlong churro is another partnership between Subway and Cinnabon.
They should have made a foot-long Cinnabon.
Yeah, this churro sells for $2. And here's the it's foot-long foot-long cookie is $5. And here's what it looks like.
What were you about to say there? What was that Freudian slip? We almost
Don't jam me up. Yeah, it was a bad one.
We'll have to get. I could at least get one of those pretty easily.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to eat a foot worth of cookie.
Yeah, and apparently the Costco ones are for 2 people also. NFL dude just had one.
You know what? Fuck it. You can't tell me how much of cookie I can have. That's a single serving size cookie if I've ever seen one.
Right.
That I will.
Subway cookies are the best thing on their menu, says NFL Dude. NFL Dude is a cookie connoisseur. Nice.
Get them to put the cookies in your sandwich.
Doc Elevator says, just walk into Costco, pretend you are interested in signing up, and go to the food court instead. No membership needed. There's a hack.
That, I forgot. That's not even, you don't even have to do that. You just go straight into the food court. That I've completely forgot about that. But like, because the thing that you really need the membership for is when you check out at the register and it asks you for your membership. And like, but I know, I don't know if it's both them and Sam's Club or if it's just them or if it was just Sam's Club, but I know that someone is getting they're leaning in on the rules now and like trying to make sure that people don't go in like
it's Costco with membership sharing.
Yeah, like using your mom's membership or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a Costco or a Sam's Club that's nearby. I think it's Sam's Club that's around the corner from us because it's right across the street from a Walmart, so I'm pretty sure it is a Sam's Club.
NFL dude, how big is he says you need to scan your card at the register to begin a food court transaction. That's new. Because Freddie says, yeah, they've never stopped me from going to a food court. NFL dude, since you've tasted the Costco cookie, you're kind of a celebrity. How big is it? Is it 3 feet long? What like size wise, how big is it? And I'm not sure what I need an ad blocker. YouTube, I thought you had YouTube Premium. I thought you got your ads blocked. They don't give us a choice. We have to have ads now.
I think he's talking about the ads popping up on the websites you're sharing.
Oh. Okay, yeah.
Jess is just trying to be the good guy and support the websites by seeing all the ads so that they get the ad revenue.
My daughter has an ad blocker. I'll have her teach me how to do it. I see what you're saying. Yeah, they definitely are cracking down on shared membership. So that might be a thing that they're doing with the that might be the thing they're doing with the register at the food court. Just as amazing, and so is Omnibroslive. I want to get a screenshot of this.
Just Jess.
Well, you're on Omnibroslive. He means you too.
No, just Jess.
What does this mean? It's about the width of a manga volume? What size is that?
So I'm assuming you mean like that. That's not terrible.
What if it's the other way? That's a big cookie that way.
But that's length, I would say, or height. That's height. This would be width.
Yeah. Are you talking NFL dude? Are you talking height or width?
You said width, so I'm going to assume width.
Oh! I apologize. You're right. Width. Okay, you're right. Oh, Doc Elevator. More Jess and Riley streams. Yeah, buddy. More Jess. See, you're getting your love here.
Dynamic duo right here.
That's right. Hey, come on. What are you doing?
Oh, I don't have those.
No, I was talking to my computer.
Oh. I thought you were saying like, hey, let's go. Let's do the thing.
No. I wasn't yelling at you. The Omnibus collector himself prefers to be spectacular or incredible. Oh,
if Omar didn't already take Uncanny,
I'm sorry I named him that and not you. Dang. But you already had the Omnibus collector.
And he already had near mint condition.
Well,
yeah. Nearly Omar.
I called him Uncanny one episode and he ran with it.
And it's astonishing, Melanie, right?
Yeah.
And who else has adjectives?
I don't know. Oh, TikTok Tina.
I think Amazing Amanda.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to think about what all is taken because I could be incredible or spectacular, sensational, fantastic.
He called me adorable, and so that's what stuck. The adorable Omnidog.
That fabulous.
The fabulous Omnibus collector.
The fabulous collector.
The collector of fabulous. I'm looking around here for, well, there's the Incredible Hulk. Amazing. Okay, Amazing Amanda. Okay, Uncanny's taken. Yeah, I think you've got it Spectacular or Incredible you can work with. Or Secret. Like Secret Warriors. Or Ghost, like Ghost Spider.
The Secret Omnibus Collector. It's a secret. Yeah, I don't know which one I would latch on to if I had to do one.
William Lee brings up a good point. That's a deep cut back to like 2019.
I think I ran out of evil stories. I might, I don't know, I'd have to think back and like maybe repeat something or find something from my youth that I recall. I told this is not really evil, but more me just complaining about kids being shitty. But when I was a kid in like middle school, was when Yu-Gi-Oh got really big. And there was the way that, so anyone who's familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh, like the anime, the way that they played in the anime was not with the rules of the actual card game. And a lot of the cards that they used had effects that were not like the effect in the anime was not the actual effect. Sometimes we knew what we were doing. Like, I don't know. It's there. I could go into depth about how we played things, but essentially we just did not play the game by the actual rules of the game. We played it like it is in the anime. But if the effect on the card says one thing, even if it's different in the anime, we generally did what the card itself said because it was made to fit into the way the game is supposed to be played. However, there's this one monster called Relinquished, and Relinquished is this fucking weird looking eyeball thing that the character, the like one of the early antagonists, Maximilian Pegasus, uses Relinquished. And so all the cool cards were the ones that were major cards used in the anime. So that means Relinquished was one that was really cool. And one of the guys in our group, Seth, old friend of mine, Seth, he got a Relinquished card. Now, the way that Relinquished was used in the anime was essentially like Yugi, our protagonist, would put out his monster and then Pegasus would just absorb it into Relinquished. And he'd keep doing that. But in the card game, Relinquished could only absorb one monster at a time. And it was not quite as overpowered. It was still a good card, but it was not quite as overpowered. However, Seth never let us read the card itself. So like he would put it down, and I only remembered like one or two games with him doing this. He'd put the card down, and he's like, Relinquished. And then you'd put a monster down, he'd be like, Relinquished, and he'd pull the monster and put it under Relinquished. And then you'd put another monster down, he'd be like, Relinquished, and he'd pull that one and put it under Relinquished until he had a stack of cards underneath his card, of him just keeping on putting cards underneath his card. And anytime you wanted to read it, he'd like cover it or like pull it away. I'm like, bro, I know that you're just bullshitting us on this. And like, so no one ever wanted to play with him again after that because we all called him on his bullshit. But it was like early, the early 2000s, late 90s. It would have been early 2000s. So like not all of us had the internet access that we wanted. And not all of the information was super available on the internet, or at least we couldn't find it. So it was hard for us to go and like check what these cards actually did. But yeah, that dude was a little shit. And I found out years later what Relinquished actually did. And I'm like, you motherfucker.
Are either of you going to be on a near sewer condition stream?
I think you are.
Yeah. Oh, you can't make it tomorrow?
Well, I didn't prepare anything.
Well, it's not too late.
It's too late for me, Jess.
No, it's not. We're at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on very fine condition. Yeah, we're gonna tomorrow night, Thursday night. There's going to be a group of people, the usual suspect, Lars, Peter M, Odefell. I think Illuminerdi is making his debut. me, Omar, and Riley, if he would just send in his 3 Omnis and it's 3 Marvel Omnis that you want to be evergreen, always in print, always available. So all you have to do is send in your 3 Omnis to Peter M, and you're okay.
I don't want to do homework.
You know more in your head than I do. You could just pick them from your head. It's gonna be 3.
You're probably correct, but at the same time, I've done so much. Like 2024 just started for me like yesterday. By which I mean like I am now standing on business, as they say. I did a massive like declutter of the house and like threw out tons of stuff. I threw out like 4.5 bags of my own clothes to clear up some space. Dropped some stuff off at half price books, all that jazz. Then I cleared myself digitally, decluttered digitally, went through my email of like who knows how many emails, deleted everything. I got my inbox down to 5 right now.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
It's all, one of them is Lars's email about C2E2, by the way. And I went through and I like emailed to a bunch of like sponsor stuff that I didn't respond to before, emailed a bunch of publisher people, and I've been going back and forth trying to just like set up stuff for myself, because I'm like 24, I'm going to get a lot more serious about these things, and trying to maintain relationships between myself and publishers. And one of the easiest things for me to have done was the publisher Square Enix just got a new marketing manager, Morgan, and Morgan is someone that I've spoken to before. She used to work at Skybound, and before Skybound she worked at Boom, and now she's finally in the manga industry, which is where she wanted to go. And so like I've talked to Morgan before, she knows me, so I reached out and I'm like, Morgan, can I get your Square Enix email? And she's like, yeah, of course. And she gave me your email, and then I emailed her and I'm like, let's do this. And she's like super into like helping me out with stuff and like getting books for my videos and stuff, and was just like,
nice.
You want other books too? And I'm like, I won't say no to whatever you send me. I'll tell you that. And I was like, I get like probably half of what y'all publish, but here's the half of the stuff that I don't already have, if you want me to talk about it. So I'm trying to do that with like more, because I did that with Morgan over at Square Enix. I have a relationship with Callista over at Yen Press. I started talking again to Eric, who runs marketing for both Ablaze and Tokyo Pop. So I'm kind of like going with those things and trying to expand and have better like relationships, so that like when I need something, I already have that line open, instead of being like, who the hell should I email at 7 C's? Like I need to find that person so I can have that line of communication.
So you just want content for all your different videos. You don't actually want to work at wherever she works. Where does she work? Square Enix?
Yeah, I would have loved to have worked at Square Enix, but she got the position that was open.
Oh.
Well, I mean, it's good for the job though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Here are 2 suggestions. William Lee thinks you should be ultimate. That's a good one.
Ultimate Omnibus collector.
I love that. I actually like that a lot.
What about extreme?
Oh, I like extreme too.
I think extreme would be Gabe, because he's more 90s.
Yeah. I like ultimate omnibus collector. Ultimate, yeah. That's actually a really good one, William Lee. And you noticed in that C2E2 email that you and I were not included?
What do you mean?
That it's just going to be Odfell, Lars, and Omar for that panel.
Anyone else decided to attend? It's bios from Omar, Odfell, and myself. Anyone else decided to attend? So I think that's left open, because he per conversation knew that Omar, and Odfell were going to C2E2, but not that anyone else was.
Oh, I'll go and be on a panel. I don't know what I'd say, but that'd be fun.
I wouldn't be opposed. I went last year. Yeah, I went to C2E2 last year. It was a lot of fun. And I would go again. I just need to get details and financials planned out.
Let's go. Chicago, man.
Let's find out what companies, what publishers, who all is going, and see if someone wants to sponsor everyone.
Wow. I was just thinking that I wanted to be there. I don't even know how to get a media pass.
I could have helped you with that before, but I can't because it was open before, but I think it's closed now.
Oh.
Unfortunately.
They did an episode of that card in Craig of the Creek.
Really?
What show's that?
That I don't remember. It's either Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, but it's a more recent animated series. They did an episode with Relinquished. What? Craig of the Creek, Relinquished. Wow.
Yeah, I love Ultimate for you. Okay, so I'll pull up Lars's thing. I thought he just I thought we were excluded.
No, he sent it to everyone and he asked if anyone else was going.
Oh shit. Okay, I better find that and respond before I pass out tonight.
Yeah, I can try and figure out. That's in what, April?
Yeah.
April. I can try to figure. As far as lodging goes, I don't probably have to worry about that. I just need to worry about a plane ticket. And then the inevitable $1,000 I want to spend on merch.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Honestly, last year I was not bad. I bought that Swamp Thing hoodie.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
A handful of books. I spent maybe $150 to $200 total, which for me is not bad at all for a convention.
Yeah. Okay, next, Imagine. I will be happy to talk to you on the next show of whatever you're interested in talking about. ROM will be evergreen because no one will buy it.
I have, so I'm gonna have a suspicion about what's up with ROM. I'm willing to say that there's a good chance it's a similar situation as like the Shang-Chi books, where they had a limited window in which they could publish those. And so they probably put out a pretty decent sized print run at first. And they probably also pushed for retailers to buy a decent amount of them. But once they're gone, they're gone. Like, this is something that I think is never, it's going to come out. It'll eventually go out of print. It might get liquidated. It might wind up being like $30 for a volume, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is something that can't be reprinted.
Oh, okay. Because it seems like
I'm not basing that on anything except for the fact that it's been a difficult license for them to deal with to finally get this out.
Yeah.
My only reason for thinking that. I'm not basing it on anything else, but kind of just that and the way that certain things have seemed with that one, similar to other things that came out.
Do you feel like it might be the same with Micronauts?
I forgot Micronauts was happening, but yeah. I think it'll probably be the same for both of those. I think probably for Godzilla as well, where it's a very limited license for limited time, and then it's done, unless they are able to work out the deal again. But I would say that they probably won't work out a similar deal to do something like that for another like couple decades or so, 10 to 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a long time before we wind up seeing some of these back into print. I would say I have that same suspicion about if they did Transformers and G.I. Joe books.
Oh,
if they wound up getting the Hasbro license, if they worked something out with Image or whatever, Image and Hasbro to be able to print omnibus editions of the old G.I. Joe stuff and the old Transformers material, I think it'd be similar in that way. Again, that's just my suspicion. I'm not basing it on much that's just the way that I'm thinking right now. So I want to put it out there into the ether.
As the supreme omnibus collector, that's a good one too.
Or superior omnibus collector.
Like, superior.
I don't want to be that full of myself, but
yeah.
Irredeemable omnibus collector.
Incorruptible, insufferable.
The insufferable omnibus collector. That's a good one. I think many people would agree with insufferable. Tired of me coming in with my Highlander tangents and my Pop-Tarts and Taco Bell.
God, that Pop-Tarts episode should have been epic. How can you not? Oh, brother, never mind. I do want to order from Walmart those special Oreos that we saw yesterday or day before that Geo showed us. Those space dunks or whatever they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that I'm on a diet and I always talk about cookies.
I mean, what? Okay, have you on this diet? Did you like try to cut cold turkey sugar and stuff?
I slowly weaned myself off it after Christmas.
Okay, that's the way that I my brother-in-law who was like a trainer and like didn't go to college for nutrition, but like knew a lot about nutrition from working at gyms and being a trainer and stuff. He described sugar as being like a drug that it's very hard to drop cold turkey. Like you have to wean yourself off of it. So that is the correct way to do it. And if you've weaned yourself off, then at this point, how much are you allowing yourself, like per day or something, or per week?
Actually none. I'm trying to eat nothing but protein and vegetables.
Damn.
I gotta lose weight, man.
Do you allow yourself?
Sorry?
Do you allow yourself something as a treat ever?
I have treats lined up for target goals that when I lose weight, like if I hit 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds, I have a solid 40 that I really need to lose. I have so many cool comic book t-shirts that I don't fit into anymore. That's my reason for doing this. I want to wear those shirts again.
It's a fair reason. I was talking about throwing out clothes and stuff. I reorganized all the clothes, and I have way more t-shirts than I ever could have imagined. I will have to show you, like it is drawers, like it's ridiculous. And I went through and I'm like, I don't want to throw any of these out.
Right. They're awesome. Let's see. Freddie says Cartoon Network. It's called Bring Out Your Beasts. They parody it with a card called Beast Snares. It's on Max. I'm not sure what's happening.
That's the Craig of the Creek.
Oh.
That the show that he mentioned a minute ago. Yeah, I looked up Craig of the Creek Yu-Gi-Oh! And I saw the Bring Out Your Beast title page and pictures of them playing he said, Bring Out Your Beast.
Oh, Kenny, nice. Those Blu-ray discs, Batman 66 and 70s Wonder Woman. She was smoking.
I have I'm not going to go grab it. I'm too lazy now. I have the Batman 66 Blu-ray. I don't have Wonder Woman, though. Unless it's a new edition of the Batman one that came out.
I kind of would like to get that Batman 66 one. I mean, I lived during that time of Batmania, so that would be...
You were not around before pizza, though.
No, pizza predated me. My brother and sister were born before pizza.
Wow.
Yeah, they were born in 46 and 48. I can't believe that comment was so great about Martha Stewart.
She could tell you about the pre-pizza era of the US.
I didn't even know that happened.
My grandmother is 87 and therefore was around before pizza was in the States. However, I don't know if pizza was around in South America. I don't know. I want to assume not. But also, if I tried to ask her, the language barrier would, like, she would not understand what the hell I'm asking. I'd be like, do you remember what it was like before pizza? And she'd be like, I haven't eaten pizza in weeks. What are you talking about?
Is this your grandmother that says stuff you're not supposed to listen to?
No, that was my great grandmother.
Oh, your great grandmother.
Yeah, my dad's grandmother.
Okay.
She would say, like,
oh, when
like
was she born?
My great grandmother, she
like the 1900s?
Probably.
Wow. Yeah. She grew up in a much different era.
Yeah.
And she was wait, your dad's from here, so she grew up in America.
Yeah, she was, I think she grew up in Texas too. There's my family, like my dad's family, there's a lot of the stuff where you're like, that's not okay. Like, and my dad would say, like, especially a year, 2 years ago when his mom passed, and we went out and like we were talking about some of that stuff, and he's like, yeah, like my dad used to say whatever, and I'd be like, well, that's not okay. You shouldn't say that. And he like talk about how much like his dad had like progressed over the years and like learning certain things are fine and not fine, and like he for an old man from Texas was pretty progressive about like homosexual people and stuff. And same for my grandmother. Like she like hung out with all kinds of people on the street and whatever. Like they were pretty progressive, but at the same time also like very conservative, very weird. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like the only non-conservative member of my entire family. So
holy guacamole.
Yeah, like on my dad's side especially, and then on my mom's side, there's a couple of like, or two of her siblings are pretty left-leaning, but like I'd still say I'm the most progressive person in the family. Like I brought my friend Star, their parents were out of town for Christmas, so I invited them to join us, and they are non-binary. They don't use gendered pronouns, but like my family could not, like before meeting them, while they were there, after meeting them, could not. My mom especially, my dad tries, and I like love that he does, but my mom refuses. Always like, she this, she that, and I'm like, trying, Mom. I'm trying to tell you here.
Well, it's such a new thing that I don't struggle with it, but I forget about it.
Yeah.
You know, like Hayden was on the toy stream this afternoon, and I forgot about it for a second, and I corrected myself and said they, but it's not it. I get it. Well, I don't refuse to use it. I just I totally respect it, and it's hard. You know, we have to retrain ourselves at an older age to address the people as they want to be addressed. I mean, this is kind of a brand new, to me, it's like a brand new thing that just popped up, and I have to learn it.
Yeah, it's but it's like my mom almost just refuses, like doesn't try. My dad tries, because my dad, like, I don't know why, like my dad is a lot more respectable about that kind of stuff. Like I would feel like he'd be like, nah, but my mom's the one that's really like sternly like, no. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. But like, I don't know. Star was fine. Star was happy to not be referred to by their dead name, because they were telling me that usually they'll go places where people knew them before they changed their name. And
it's called a dead name. That was their previous name.
Yes. So,
okay, so Star is that person's new name then,
right? That they've been using for the past few years. But prior to the past few years, they went by another name that I won't share, because it's not my name to share. Yeah. But they went by another name, and and they have a lot of, you know, of course, their family and their friends and stuff, that when they go back to those people, those people will refer to them by their dead name. I've been around older friends of theirs that do that and still use like their former pronouns and stuff. But like, I don't do that so much because I never knew them as anything but, and my family didn't know them as anything but. So even if my mom was saying the wrong pronouns, she and the rest of my family were all saying Star. So like when I apologized for my family and Star was like, no, it's cool. Like, I'm just happy that no one was throwing my dead name around.
Okay, so her dead name, was she okay with her? I'm sorry, they weren't okay with the older friends calling them by their dead name. Would they get upset with that?
They didn't correct them about it, and I'm assuming it's just like they're like, it is what it is. Like,
yeah,
you knew me for so long that it can be really hard to make that change. And everyone, I think, has different ways about that, but it is what it is, you know.
Okay. It's fine to make mistakes. I like that you are open to learning and holding yourself to it, Jez. Well, thank you, Freddie. I'm totally willing to respect it and learn it, but it's I just have to get it in my I have to get it in my brain to stick. So, you know, 64, 65 years of she and he, I need to relearn it. I totally respect it. It doesn't bother me a bit. I just want to make sure that I don't offend anybody. Next Imaginout says, Riley Omnidog, I worked it out and estimate that if Marvel reacquired both the GI and Transformers licenses, that their license window would have to be minimum 4 years to release everything spaced out appropriately, even with being released simultaneously. Okay. Hey, this is a lie. I was 15 when Saturday Night Live came out, and I was with the original cast. You jerk, Freddie. And I was 15, and 11:30 at night, I would get high and drink Mr. Pibb and eat Doritos and watch episodes every Saturday night. Because 15, I didn't have a driver's license, so I just stayed home. Also, I was a nerd, so Saturday night was time to get high and watch SNL. Don't be spreading that around, Freddie. How dare you? Let's see. Kenny said the repackage of the Batman 6 is $49 at Amazon. Okay, thank you.
So it is something new.
Okay.
I have let me look at whatever the new one is.
The insufferable omnibus collector. You chose it. There it is.
That's the one that seemed right to me. 3 discs. I think I'm getting up. I'm forcing myself to get up to see.
Did you get the one with the Batmobile in it?
No.
Freddie said, Kenny said that is very expensive now.
I have this set with 3. I don't know. It looks the same as the one that's listed as repackage. Is that what we're looking at? Is that what we're talking about? Or is the repackage it says 2018. So I'm assuming this is the one. And is it 3 discs? No, it's way more than 3 discs. It's got a lot of discs.
I wonder if it has a commentary saying that Cesar Romero is a jerk to work with.
I don't know. Batman Animated Collection, Blu-ray region free. What movies does this come with? No, I'm not buying stuff.
What was that one? The BTAS?
No, it was like some of the animated movies, but it was also, it says region free, but it has like the UK rating on it, like the 15 and the little shield, and I don't like mixing those with other stuff in my collection because they always look kind of off. Why does it say 3 discs though?
Thank you for being here, AS. I hope your head cold gets better. Thank you for saying this, Kenny. Appreciate it.
I thought I had a measuring.
Kenny says, Riley, it's the same repackaged set for Batman 66 on Blu-ray.
Yeah, so this probably is the repackaged set.
Okay.
This is what I have. This is what I have because I have it right here with me. I don't know what's obvious. I got this a little while ago. I think I did get it on Amazon, but I feel like it was cheaper. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to go into my purchase history.
Yeah, I might wait for like Amazon Day, Prime Day, or
right
something to see if I can get it cheaper.
I think that's when I got it. It is 44% off, so I don't know if.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that $49 is 44% off.
It's typically $89. It's typically $90.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check my. Wouldn't it tell me that I bought it, or like specifically? Doesn't Amazon tell you that? Like you bought this?
Yeah.
Back in whenever, but it's not.
Yeah, yeah. It usually has that box, that long box. You purchased this in blah blah blah.
It's not telling me that, so I don't know what happened there. I'm pretty sure that's where I. You know what? I might have gotten it at Best Buy. That might have been what happened. So if I look, I won't find it anyway. Tough.
You have it, so that's good.
Yeah, at the very least, I do have it, and that's all that counts.
Next to Maginaut, Omnidog, yes, you've hit the nail on the head. I'm 36, very progressive, and live in one of the most progressive and queerest U.S. cities, and still struggle in my efforts to fully retrain my pronoun assignation and presumption habits. That's interesting that you said presumption. Reaper XC, who is probably asleep now, he's from Australia. He just automatically says they for everyone. I had a discussion with him in messages, and he just automatically says they for everyone. So he's just retrained himself to not even say she or her. It's always they.
I tell people that they can use they for me. Because I'm like, if you want to like practice.
You're a practice pronoun guy?
Yeah, because I mean grammatically it's correct, so I don't care. So I tell people, if you don't know anyone and you want to practice like using certain, you can always say that on me, and I won't get persnickety about it because I know some people will.
Persnickety. It's 2:30 in the afternoon in Australia. Whoa, what the hell, Reaper? Where are you? Riley, are you up to date on One Piece? Do you use he or they for Yamato?
I use he. I always have used he. I'm not sure where any of the confusion came from with that character, but it was very, very specifically like pointed out. So Jess, Yamato is the son of a major antagonist from the most recently completed arc, Wano, where the crew goes to an island that is very much like Japan inspired, and the main antagonist is Kaido, this giant beast man person that like is just wreaking havoc essentially. And so it leads to a giant fight, and Kaido has a son that you meet named Yamato, and Yamato is introduced wearing like cloak, robes, whatever, and a mask, but always being referred to as Kaido's son. I am Kaido's son. Kaido refers to Yamato as his son. Everyone refers to Kaido or Yamato as he throughout the entire thing. There's never one person that says otherwise. But when removing all of the stuff, Yamato is very clearly AFAB, assigned female at birth, with curves and very busty and stuff like that. So a lot of people don't like to say he about Yamato, and they either specifically use the wrong pronouns, or they'll say they instead. But like, I think the only place that semi-officially used they might have been the Beaver cards or the Viver cards or whatever they're called, which is like a supplemental like collectible item that you can buy that gives information about the characters. But Yamato specifically uses masculine pronouns as a character, and
even though they were assigned female at birth.
Yes, they are trans for all intents and purposes.
Oh, okay. Freddie showed me this figure on the toy stream. Okay, now I remember.
Yes, so, but there's a lot of people who are like, no, can't be a man. And
okay, I got a question. Say my daughter becomes non-binary.
Sure.
How do I introduce her? I would normally say, this is my daughter, Kelly.
Yeah, my child, my kid.
Okay. My child, Kelly.
My former dependent.
My spawn.
Yeah, exactly. You could get creative on that one.
Okay. Yeah, as your child. Okay.
This is Kelly, the person that I had to raise.
Who's just a junior version of me, poor thing. These practices the new formal standard we all must adjust to. Okay.
The one that I get confused on is like uncle or aunt, and I've asked people, and there's not really a great answer for it. It's just like
if they go non-binary,
right? I think that something I heard was like a paternal sibling or like maternal sibling or something like that, and I'm like, there's not a good name for.
That's a mouthful.
I think you just have to make something up in that case. Something has come up. I don't know. Like, but when I was last looking, I was like, what do you say? I don't know. Like niece and nephew. I don't think there's a good one for that either. Like my sibling's child.
Oh, okay.
You wind up having
my sibling. You can't. Oh, you go double non-binary. You can't say.
Well, I'm just saying because I don't know. Like I'm just being general about it. But if you have like, you know, my sister had a kid and my sister's kid winds up being non-binary, then I guess I'd say like my sister's child.
Yeah. Okay.
But if my sister also decided that she would instead be non-binary, then it'd be my sibling's child. Because I do have I have a friend whose sibling is non-binary, and that's how they refer to their sibling, is my sibling.
Well, you know it. Well, this is the issue. You're young, and you have a lot of different friends, and it's changing for your generation. It's not changing for my generation, and none of my friends
keep up, man.
None of my friends are non-binary, so
no, it's fine.
I don't even have. I can't practice it. The only time I practice it is when I'm online streaming.
And that's more than a lot of people can say, though. But the fact that you're open to trying is really important for a lot of people. Like even if you stumble along the way, the vast majority of people are not going to be upset when they know that you're trying and you're not trying to be rude if you say the wrong thing. And the vast majority of people, like I've spoken with people and I have referred to them with the wrong pronouns and they just correct me real quick, like they actually, and I'll be like, okay, they, and I just keep the conversation and keep going. And it's like, you know, they know that you're not trying to be hurtful or rude and stuff, and they're not trying to be, you know, angry about stumbling and stuff. And it goes a really long way that you just try at all.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to think if no, I don't. Yeah, no, there's just not any non-binary, not even non-binary. Well, my sister might have a granddaughter that's non-binary, but I'm not familiar with her. I don't know her. I don't know them. See, I can't. I just said she was non-binary, and I said I don't know her. Holy guacamole!
I'm like flipping through notifications of stuff that I have open on my computer, and there was a tweet of someone sharing, I guess, the final scene of Aquaman 2 and said this is the DCEU's final scene. And I don't know what the scene is like in context or anything like that, but it just reminded me that I've been trying to go back and not rewatch, but watch the first time some of the DCEU movies that I did not see. And I finally watched the original Justice League, the Justice League, if you will.
Justice League.
And that's how some people refer to it. And it wasn't as bad as I believed it would be. B, it is 2/3 of it. I was like, this is pretty solid. And it's like the last third, it's almost like you can see where things shifted.
Yeah.
Creatively. And I'm like, this last third blows. Like, it's not good at all. And C,
I have a good friend that's a little bit older than I am, but we're sort of new friends, and he grew up loving DC Comics, and he saw Green Lantern and actually liked it. And so I said, hey, let's go see Justice League. And he knew all the characters, but he did not care for it. And so now I'm trying to get him to come over for the Snyder Cut. I'm like, dude, come over for the Snyder Cut. It's so much better. We'll have fun and you'll understand it. It's got extra stuff. And he's like, okay, yeah, I'll make time for that. And I know I'm never going to see him. He's never coming over for that.
I still need to watch that one, but it's a lot. So it's hard to dedicate oneself to. But the last point about Justice League that I was going to say is, like, it made me realize how bad the DC movies got because just before that, but a few days before that, I watched Shazam 2. And I think last month I watched Black Adam. And then, of course, I watched Flash when it was in theaters. And each of those is just miserably bad. Like, I already did not like any of them. But watching Justice League and being like, this is not a good movie, I was like, wow, like, this is leagues. Nope, I did not mean that to be a pun, I promise. Leagues better than these movies, the last few that came out with the DCEU. And I feel like it made me dislike those even more. I didn't know that was possible, but I disliked them even more. And I don't know. It was already like a slope of bad, and then it just got worse. It was so crazy. But like some of the things, like, did you see Shazam 2?
No, and I haven't seen Flash, so please don't say anything about it. I saw Shazam, the first Shazam, and I liked it.
The first Shazam was fantastic, but there's just I won't say anything to spoil stuff, but there's post-credit scenes for Shazam 2. Like, there's like 3 mid and post-credit scenes for that movie, and all of them are pretty much like pointless because of the fact that there's nothing else happening. It's just like, gee, thanks. And it really not only that, but they really seem just like slapped on, like there was no thought put into actually trying like to make a connected universe. And then at those movies, they were just kind of like, slap that on there. I guess that was part of what I realized, like, with Justice League, was like you had this big kind of event movie in the middle of things, and then nothing carried over from that, and like there was never any coming back.
What was I going to say? I initially really wanted to see Black Adam because I wanted to see Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate and the other Justice Society members, Hawk Girl, and who else? Atom Smasher or something.
Atom Smasher, Hawk Girl, the Dr. Fate. Did they have? Was Red Tornado there? There was someone else there.
I can't think of who it was, but I really wanted to see Pierce Brosnan. I may still watch it just so I can see Pierce Brosnan.
He's probably the best part of it.
Yeah, I would assume so. I love that guy.
But yeah, the rest of that movie was not good, and it was amusing though because you're sitting there watching Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who went on for so long about the change in the power structure of the DCEU or whatever, and then just shits the bed. It makes it pretty amusing because like the way it ends, it's like supposed to be like, oh yeah, it's Black Adam, yeah, and then like nothing. That shit was dead on arrival too. Like when that movie came out,
Which one?
Like Black Adam.
Oh.
I think like it was pretty much immediately after that came out that they were like, yeah, we're rebooting everything. And he just foot in mouth, man.
I kind of remember that. Did you see Blue Beetle?
Not yet. That one and Aquaman 2 and Snyder League are the only ones that I haven't watched. I'm waiting for I know that Blue Beetle I think is on Max, but I don't have Max, so I'm waiting for it to eventually go to like Amazon or Netflix or whatever, which shouldn't be that long. And then because I think Flash is already on Amazon, and then I will probably do the same for Aquaman because I haven't heard anything that tempts me, but I do actually own a copy of the Snyder League. Despite the fact that I'm not like super interested in watching it, I found it for pretty cheap, so I grabbed it.
Yeah, I've just seen the first hour of it, and the first hour of it is just way better than the whole Justice League movie. It's got so many cool things in it that the Justice League movie didn't. I mean, he puts in really cool extra things in there. And I can't believe I didn't play this when we were talking about Batman 66. There's Reaper. We spoke about you, and there you are. We wondered where you were. Marvel Bab, yeah, it is time. It's probably time for us to go to bed too. It's quite late.
Yeah.
Lucy Liu's in Shazam 2? Okay, I'm watching it anyway.
She is, but I couldn't tell you most of what she did.
As long as she's in it, I'm okay for it. Freddie enjoyed Black Adam, especially Justice Society. The rest of Riley's statement is true for me. Okay. Yes. Were you listening in the background? I was wondering where you were. Let's. I'm at work. Had a rescue call and an EMR so far. Okay. You are doing the Lord's work in Australia for sure. I saw Iron Claw last week, which was heartbreaking. Not a wrestling fan either. Also saw Durkin's first film, Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene, which was very good but upsetting. Elizabeth Olsen's film debut. Yeah, I heard that was a pretty intense movie and that she was really good in it, though. I think we talked about that during the toy show for some reason. We talked a lot about Margot Robbie and Elizabeth Olsen and their body of work.
It took me a minute to realize it was Margot Robbie on your shirt.
This is the famous shirt that I had on the table when it came in. I folded it up and put it on the kitchen table in our old house. And Patty came in and picked it up and said, "Oh, this is really cool." And I said, "Yeah, that's Harley Quinn." And she balled it up and said, "Ew," and threw it on the floor. Not a fan of Harley. She said that she hates that she loves this shirt.
That's funny.
JT White Wolf, this is the last stream. I'll be able to be here for a while now because my work school holidays are over this weekend. Glad I've been able to get to see a few OmniBros and OmniDog live streams. It's been good to have you, JT White Wolf. And I will be reading Invincible. I'm going to try like heck. I promise you. So, I think it's probably time definitely time for me to go to bed. Riley, the insufferable Omnibus collector, you're all over media. Where can they find you on all these places?
The Omnibus collector on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, Omni Collector on Twitter, probably some other places I forgot to mention. And what I'm hoping to do, just as a tease on what I'm doing soon, is do an updated comic library tour and post it to this channel.
Oh, that's cool.
Since my channel's, you know, all Eastern media at this point, and I know a lot of people want to see the updated look at the Omnibus Collector's Omnibus Collection, which has grown and changed and whatnot since the last one I put out there. And put it up on here and get us a little bit of extra different attention.
Awesome. I'm speaking to your heart. Yep, I know, JT. I totally appreciate it. Oh, I'm sorry, Reap. OmniDog, for physical media, did you pick the winners? I picked VHS. I did not pick beta. And HD DVD, I don't even know what that is. I picked Blu-ray.
I remember that. That was very briefly lived. That was what Xbox backed.
Oh, okay.
They were the ones with the red case. It was very, very brief.
I don't think I ever even saw any. Thank you, James. This is my Discord. I really thought Ultimate was fitting because we were introduced to you with American comics. Then you turned 180 and now more known for manga. He is Ultimate. He knows everything about everything.
But I'm insufferable.
He spent the entire day with you and reading Brubaker Cap. Thanks, Justin Riley. Nice.
Very good.
Yes, we have to bounce too next. Have to bounce, but just want to let you know that Oppenheimer and Godzilla -1 are both back to playing near you, as well as Ferrari. I've seen Godzilla -1, and God bless America, did I love it. As well as Ferrari. You will love it and strongly recommend catching it theatrically for the sound mix through at least tomorrow. I definitely want to see Oppenheimer in the theaters. Boy, did I love Godzilla -1. Oofa. And you can find me, OmniDog, on OmniDog's Vault on YouTube, OmniDogs_Vault on Instagram. And James just posted my Discord where it's really fun, free, and we talk about cookies and everything else. And tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be on Very Fine Condition with a whole host of people, including Riley, who's going to send in 3 omnibuses tonight and be on the show, damn you. I insist, because it'll be fun. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Very Fine Condition.
Dude, I have to be on our show at 7.
Okay, well, it's 5 your time then.
Yeah, but those things always last forever, and I have stuff to do tomorrow. I can't be on 2 shows. I wasn't even supposed to be on this one. I'm supposed to be every other Wednesday, but I was bored, and I just wanted to pop in and bother y'all. Didn't think I'd be here for 2 hours.
And talk about Highlander.
That's all. I just literally was looking at stuff about Highlander because I'd never seen Highlander, and I was like, you know who would know? The boys. And I jumped in, and I was like, guys, Highlander.
And we snared you.
For 2 hours.
Oh, this is like a compliment and a slander put together. Nicely played. Jess was on 2 shows today, and he predates the Great War. Freddie, how are you, my friend? I don't know.
Not pizza.
not even pizza. Wait, I want to play this one more time. Okay. Where's our ending? Okay, there it is. Peace and love to everybody. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for watching. This is a lot of fun, just shooting the bull with the insufferable Omnibus Collector. He's a great guy, and we're happy that he showed up tonight. Although I guess he's insufferable. So peace and love, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. Wait, oh yeah, please hit the like button, subscribe, And InStockTrades.com, where you can get. Nope, that's the wrong one. InStock. Get out of there. Next Monday, we're giving away a $50 gift card courtesy of IST. IST has discounts from 30% up to 65% in some places. You get an extra 2% discount, $50 or more in an order, gets you free shipping, fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. Whew. Glad I didn't forget that one. Okay, now we're going to go. Yoicks. Peace and love, everybody. We love you. Thank you for joining us.
Peace out.